Hello everybody and welcome to the Telkom VS Gaming HSEL Esports League. We are here with the grand final of the High School Esports League. We have got a match between Roos Gymnasium and Parklands College. I'm joined by Nick. How exciting that we get the chance to cast a High School Esports League match.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think it's important that we're seeing the younger generation actually starting the esports young, right? So
Yeah.
we see that with through schools, and we see the schools, the 38 schools actually involved in the HSEL, that they're starting young, they're starting to breed the talent young.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we want in esports in South Africa.
Exactly that, Nick. Get an opportunity as early as they can to get their hands on the keyboard and mouse and have the facilities provided for them at the school level, not just having to go home after school and then focusing on esports, but finding a balance between the two in the same environment is really exciting when you think about it. I mean, these teams have had to fight a long way to reach this point, Nick. As you saw in the graphic, there were 38 schools that started out in this journey, and now only two remain. As I said, Parklands College versus Roos Gymnasium is what's going to be making up the final today. A best of three, with the winner taking away the title of champions. Roos Gymnasium are the defending champions as well. They've won the past 2 years of the High School Esports League Grand Finals in Counter-Strike. They also won the League of Legends final yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So they're setting the tone, right? Because we all know that Roos Gymnasium in South Africa is one of the schools that you always look to when you talk about some of the best performing schools in your traditional sports like rugby, cricket, hockey. Now they're coming into esports and they're setting the standard as well.
Definitely, and we've seen Roos so far through the tournament. They haven't tasted defeat. They've been in the upper bracket the whole time. And who did they meet in the upper bracket? Parklands College, and they actually got one out in the best of one victory. But today's a best of three, so that's going to be a bit different. With Parklands College, they're actually in the lower bracket. They got dropped out by Roos, but they still beat the likes of Benny's, Milnerton to reach the grand final that they find themselves in today. So it is a BO3. It is a bit of a different format. So that's going to be something to keep in mind. But as I said, Roos, they're definitely coming into as favourites, trying to be back to back. So it's something to keep in mind. You know,
back to back to back.
Back to back.
With the three-peat.
Exactly. Yeah, we already know someone who may have a chance to do that today later. So it's going to be exciting. But yeah, Roos definitely coming into this as favourites, and they'll be fighting a stiff opposition in Parklands College, so it's definitely going to be an exciting game to feast our eyes upon.
Did you say Parklands eliminated St. Benedict's?
Yes, yeah.
I love it. Guys, for anybody who doesn't know, my esteemed co-panelist here, Nick, he is a past pupil at St. Benedict's, so Parklands College bringing him the pain already.
It's because I wasn't playing.
That's what it is.
That's what I'm going to say.
You were just past the curve, unfortunately. Did you ever play at St. Benedict's?
Unfortunately, as soon as the esports actually came into Benny's, I had already left the school. So they did actually make the final last year, which is something to keep in mind. The fact that Parklands actually knocked out Benny's, rather, who actually made it to the final against Roos last year. So it's something to keep in mind that Parklands College, they're definitely here. They're not messing around. They're going to take the fight to Roos. But yeah, I think Roos, we see that they started esports young, and they've reaped the benefits, right? They're trying to be back to back to back. Whereas the schools that have come into it a bit late, they're lagging behind. And Roos, if they carry on like this, they're going to be taking all the accolades of High School Esports League in South Africa in the years to come.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you guys in on a little secret, because we got to chat to Louis van der Merwe from Roos, which we'll have that interview to play a little bit later on. And he told us that they actually are starting to provide esports facilities and get proper esports centers geared up and ready with 6 gaming computers and everything else, all the peripherals in the network, not just using the computer lab, which has been the traditional approach from most of the schools getting involved in esports. So actually starting to take it to the next level, which is really exciting and exactly what we want. So we have got an interview now with Adapt from Parklands College. Are you with us, Adapt? Are you going to be joining us? There you are. Welcome, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
So why don't you just let us know how old you are and what grade you're in?
I am 16 and in grade 11.
Okay, so still a long way to go in your esports career, but really starting and at the beginning as early as you can. Why don't you tell us a little bit what it's like to have esports provided as a traditional sport at your school?
I think it's very, very nice because there are lots of people who are better at the more physical sports, and then there are others who use more of their mental side and play. So it's just nice to have an outlet such as gaming and esports at school to showcase your talents.
That's awesome, man.
100%. You talk about showcasing your talent, and you speak about the normal, if you will, sports that you have at your school. So I want to know, you being an esports candidate at Parklands College, how do people perceive you? Do they perceive you any differently, knowing that you're in the Counter-Strike team, or is it sort of the same?
No, I think at our school we have respect for whatever people choose to do, whether it be normal, like traditional sports like tennis or soccer or esports or whatever. Everyone supports you at the college 100%.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I remember back when, I was at Northcliffe High School, and they used to also have a bit of an esports thing going, but it was still very, very early. And like when you would go around, telling people you were part of it, people would look at you funny and think that you were from another planet. So that's really awesome, man. I'm really glad to hear that. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about how the high school esports league has benefited you as an individual and your school as well?
I think with regards to me, it has allowed me to play in more of a team format and just enjoy playing with my teammates a lot because we've gotten to know each other really well over the past season. And yeah.
That's awesome, man.
100%. You speak about your other teammates, and you're one of the most well-known players in your team for Parklands College. So, like, have you got any little nuggets of knowledge you want to set on us for your other teammates that are running into the final?
I think just with regards to our whole team, I think we're all well known in our own way. Like if you look at people like Chili Willy, who are rising the ranks in like CSGO, semi-pro and Faceit and all of that. You have Blaze, who's been playing for years and years and years. He's very experienced. You have Exalt, who's been playing as long as me. We've always been comping together, playing Faceits together, all of that.
Nice.
And Kaz, who just recently joined, he's very promising. I see very great.
Awesome, man. So going into this game, into this grand final, the best of three, it was actually Paul Roos Gymnasium that knocked you guys down to the lower bracket where you lost 16-14 on Mirage. How are you feeling about the match today?
And I think in the last game, we kind of fell into playing their game a bit. Today, we're going to focus on our game solely and just play our hearts out, like representing Parklands College.
Awesome. Well, Adapt, it's really exciting to hear from you and see where you guys are going. You're such a youngster and you're an absolute superstar with tons of potential. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys on the server, man. Best of luck for today.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. That was Adapt from Parklands College, who we will be seeing playing in the final in a few moments against Paul Roos Gymnasium. Nick, you just love to see how traditional sports has been amalgamated with esports and how they're just perceived on the same level now.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that really goes back to kudos to Parklands College. He said himself that they seen just like all the traditional sports players and they get the same backing that the traditional sports players do. And that's definitely a good start. If we want to see esports rise as a whole, not only in schools in South Africa, but also as the whole South African esports scene itself. So to see that schools get the backing, or rather schools give the backing for the players that need it, it's a big move forward for the young players in the South African scene.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Speaking about the young players in the South African scene, we have now got Electrics from Paul Roos Gymnasium on the line. Oh, and he's all suited up as well, looking smart as ever. I hope you're not going to be playing in that uniform.
I'll probably change out to something more comfortable later.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, man, and giving us some of your time. Why don't you just let us know how old you are and what grade you're in?
18 in the end of matric now.
Okay. So how long has esports been a thing at Paul Roos Gymnasium?
It started about at the beginning of 2018. IT teacher came into the school, Mr. Van Amava, and a bunch of people approached him with the idea of esports, and from there on it's been growing amazing in the school. So
you say you're in matric right now, and obviously you're heading towards the end of the year, but you have been able to be a part of this esports project for a few years. How do you feel like this, in particular, the high school esports league, has benefited you as a player and your school as well?
For me as a player, I'd say more just playing with a bunch of friends is really fun. And then seeing up and teaching them on a higher level is also fun. For school, I feel like overall it gets us a different kind of exposures than the normal sport, because obviously there's quite a big esports scene out there.
Yeah.
I just feel like the school benefits a lot from it as well.
100%. So, Electric, you're one of the more well-known 10 that we're going to see in the server today. Obviously, you playing for Ikasi, or rather being the sub for Ikasi. So, I want to ask, like, what has Ikasi's influence been on you? Like, obviously, you're probably going to be playing a different role amongst your team at school. So, has Ikasi had a big influence on how you play amongst the school players?
I think Ikasi, as well as my previous teams I've played for, have a big impact on like just the general things I know, like our IGL and Ikasi Gemini and the people that help like DMS have a big influence on how I play CS and approach everything on a more tech. So they have had a massive impact on my kind of play style like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're really fortunate, right? You're a young up-and-coming player and you're getting to learn from the experience. As you mentioned, Gemini and DMS both have a very, very great grasp on the game of Counter-Strike and have a very good understanding of the game. So it's cool to hear that you are, learning a lot from them and taking away a lot of experience from that. Electrics, why don't you tell me, how does you as an esports player get perceived in the school? Of course, Roos Gymnasium is very well known for the likes of rugby and cricket and hockey, but now you're an esports player. Do you get the same sort of recognition as the rest of the traditional sports?
I get a different kind of recognition. Our school has recognized esport as a sport. I do have full colors for esports because we have won Comic-Con 2 years in a row, like the high school esports league. And obviously amongst like friends and things, it's like a new kind of fun. It's excited and it's fun to see people being able to play games on a competitive level and overseas, maybe in South Africa teams like ATK making a living out of it at this point. So it's good, yeah.
Awesome, 100%. You talk about being back-to-back HSEL winners, so you're trying to make it the three-peat. Does that add any extra pressure onto you guys, or not at all? You're just going to go in and play your game?
I think the most important thing is just focusing on our game, not get too caught up in the fact that we've won 2 years, because that's in the present and it's not going to help us today. I do think we might have a slight mental edge over them, but as far as that goes, we're just going to take it like another best of 3 we play.
Awesome, Electrics. Well, thank you so much for giving us some of your time and sharing your thoughts with us, man. And best of luck, and keen to see where you guys are going to be taking this in the final.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Awesome. That was Electrics playing for Roos Gymnasium in the final in a couple of minutes, which will be against Parklands College. Nick?
Yeah, I think Electrics, when you look at the 10 in the server today, he's definitely one of the names that jumps out. He's one of the more well-known names. So I think he's definitely going to be one that we're going to see at the top of the scoreboard. So he's definitely going to be a danger man for the side of Roos. We spoke to Adapt for the side of Parklands College. I think he's probably definitely one of the danger men for them. So I think it's going to be a bit of a head-to-head battle, probably playing different roles than what they're normally accustomed to. But, it's a best-of-3 final. You're going to have to make sacrifices to benefit the team.
Yeah.
And we're going to see both teams go head-to-head. Obviously, it's a big game. It's a grand final. It's a best-of-3. Can Roos make it back-to-back-to-back, or will Parklands College end their streak?
We're going to be finding out shortly. Speaking about Parklands College, we have got Joel Dixon on the line, a member of staff at Parklands College. Hi, Joel.
Hi there.
Thank you so much for joining us and giving us some of your time.
Pleasure.
So why don't you just tell us a little bit more about the esports division at Parklands College and what sort of provisions and facilities you guys have been making for the esports scene and the sport in general?
So Parklands is a tech school, so we regard ourselves as one of the leaders of technological innovation in education in the country. And so as a tech school, we have a massive interest in any sort of esports competition as well as any tech competition. So we've been involved with the esports for a couple of years now, and getting into the robotics side of things and the coding side of things. So all those areas are very very important to us. So for us, we've been trying to foster culture of interest in esports as well as traditional sports at the school.
Awesome.
You speak about the big interest you have in esports in general. So from you guys who have come into the esports scene relatively early compared to other schools, have you got any message to schools that may have doubts about the high school E-League or maybe have doubts about esports in general?
Well, I mean, it just takes a little bit of observation of what's going on in the international scene, to having a look at the interest that's being fostered across the world in esports and the prize pools in these. I mean, what companies are investing in these huge esports events and the size of these crowds that are being being generated at these stadiums. So, I mean, it's no joke, and it's something we must definitely take seriously, and especially with the current climate, who knows how long we're going to be able to have traditional sporting events, and how long it will be until we can open up the stadiums again. So, it might be esports as the future. So we need to start looking at that quite seriously.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an inside joke in the esports scene. How people have always said that the sports are always going to be superior, and it's like, well, through this global pandemic, the only thing that has been continuing is esports. So it is a nice little extra that has come through. Mr. Joel Dixon, what would you have to say about the high school esports league and how it's benefited your school and the players coming through the ranks as well?
Well, it's really it's great to get the school involved and get that kind of foster that culture of competition that you wouldn't see if it was just solo players, competing in competitive games normally. So you kind of foster a pride across the school in the team. I mean, when we played our games against PRG, and because we streamed the ones with PRG and with Milton, I think, we had quite a few kids join us from the school to come back their boys.
Awesome.
Which is just fantastic, and to see. I mean, the same from other schools, to see them come in and show their pride and support their school. It's just fantastic. I mean, that's what we want. That's the goal. One of the goals.
All right. Well, Joel Dixon, thank you so much for catching up with us and just sharing your thoughts about how things are run at Parklands College and exactly the team as well. It's really cool to hear from you, man, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Look forward to the game.
Yeah, best of luck to your boys. That is Joel Dixon, one of the facilitators at Parklands College. His team will be playing against Roos Gymnasium in the grand final in about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think it's what we're hearing, this constant message coming out from Parklands at least, is the backing that they've got for this esports league as a whole, as well as the esports players that they have in school, which is a massive thing. To think that esports was still quite taboo 2-3 years ago, but now you're seeing schools making a lot more mainstream along with traditional sports, treating it the same way. You're seeing that pupils are getting the backing that the rugby players, that the football players, that the cricket players are getting, which is massive, not only for the pupils themselves, but for the confidence and for, as I said prior, the growing of the whole esports league and the whole esports scene as a whole in South Africa. So it's big that schools like Parklands, like Roos, that have benefited from having esports at a young age in the school. It's good that we're seeing a growth as a whole from Parklands as well as Roos, and we're going to see them in the final. They're reaping the benefits of starting early.
Exactly that. Let's hear a little bit about more Roos's situation, because we actually got to catch up with one of their facilitators, and in fact, actually, we found out now the IT teacher a couple of days ago. Let's hear what he had to say. We are joined by Louis van der Merwe from Roos Gymnasium, and we have an opportunity to ask him a couple questions about their esports division at the school, because for anybody who doesn't know, there's been the high school esports league being played throughout the year, and we're finally reaching the final weekend. Welcome, Louis, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here.
So let's just jump straight into it, because it's really cool to be able to talk to somebody who's part of the school and seeing it from that sort of perspective, because it's obviously quite a new thing to have esports involved at a school level.
It's a new thing in South Africa, but we've been doing it for nigh on 3 years now at Roos.
Yeah, and you guys have had quite a lot of success as well. You're in the finals weekend of the Counter-Strike and the League of Legends here, and you won last year as well.
Yes, we did. We've won the CSGO division 2 years in a row, so we're hoping to add a third to this one.
Okay.
And the League of Legends, I think we came third last year, so we're hoping for gold this time.
Okay, so straight up, I'd just like to know, how much focus do you guys put on esports at your school in comparison to the traditional sports like rugby and cricket, which your guys' school in particular is so well known for?
That's a really good question. I'll have to be honest, in terms of focus, it's not the same as the focus on rugby and cricket at all. But in terms of support, we have gotten support from the children from the ground up, and it's being followed amazingly. The kids are watching the streams. There are people emailing me about coming to Paul Roos specifically for esports.
Wow.
And our principal, who is a technological dinosaur, said lovingly, he is completely behind us. He supports us all the way, and he just wants us to excel at what we do. And he believes in Paul Roos being an inclusive school so that kids of all sports can find their groove there. 100%. So that's pretty cool to have a principal like that.
Very cool. So I wanted to ask you, what is your message to schools that may not treat esports the same way you guys do, or do you have a message for them at all?
I would ask them to reconsider. I mean, if you look at the future and esports in general in the world, it's taking off like a wildfire. It's super important to the kids. All the kids are playing it. And it's not just about playing games. I mean, we've seen our first team rugby going on tours, and they sit in the bus, and everyone's playing PUBG Mobile or Fortnite or whatever it is they play. And they're playing competitively. They're so hooked on this competitive aspect that it's wonderful to see. I mean, I get so amped just watching the kids perform. And it's not just playing games for me. It's all about team tactics and learning to handle a victory, learning to handle a defeat, learning to handle team sports and personalities. It's got all the elements of traditional sports. It's just a new platform.
Yeah.
It's super popular, and you should get on it while it is still here, or you will be left behind.
Oh man, you've got such a fresh take on the esports scene, and it's so refreshing to hear as well. And I love that you acknowledge that there's so much more to esports than just playing a game, right? Because there's a whole lot of life lessons that also get learned throughout your esports career. Even just, working with other people and building up your results. There's so many other skills that are developed. So it's really cool that you guys are aware of that and on top of it.
Definitely. It's very hypocritical of me not to actually believe in that, being a gamer myself.
Okay.
Sometimes you play for enjoyment, and then there are times when you log on, you're like, I have my friends, we've been practicing together for 4 years.
Yeah.
Now we're competitive and we're going to win. Yeah. It's a different thing for enjoyment and playing for competing and winning.
Absolutely.
Both wonderful, but completely different.
Yeah. So, Louis, what sort of facilities do you guys have at the school to make provisions for the esports scene?
Well, we have the computer labs, but surprisingly, I've gotten the go-ahead to now erect a little esports lab for us with 6 PCs.
Nice.
So we're busy building that. But from next year onwards, we'll have an actual esports lab with 6 PCs. One will be for the streamer, the other 5 will be for competing players.
Wow.
Or the 6th one will be for the coach, so that we can have some actual sessions coaching the kids and being better.
That's really cool. Like what I would have taken to have that sort of facilities at my school when I was back then. I'm an avid esports lover myself, Matt and myself, everyone here. So it's great to see that you're pioneering the way forward for schools, and especially with HSEL and VS Gaming. 100% kudos to you with everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are setting the standard, getting ahead of the pack as well, because you guys are already getting in positions to make this a mainstream thing in the school. Just one last question. You touched on having that 6th computer, and it could be for a coach. Do you guys have any traditional coaches in position for the esports players in the school?
As far as coaching goes, no, we don't have. We have a lot of talented kids that help each other, and I facilitate them in helping each other be better.
Yeah.
Knowing a lot about CSGO, I can give them a lot of advice, and I make them practice smokes and flashes and things,
Nice.
and we talk about team strategies. But I'll be honest that these kids are so far beyond me in terms of skills. Like, I'm good, they are excellent.
Yes.
And the amount of time that they put into being the best is an amazing time commitment on their half.
Yeah.
I hear them talking to their parents about how much time they're allowed to put into their academics per day, and how much time they're supposed to do traditional sports, and then how much time are they allowed to the esports, because it has to be a balance between everything.
Yeah.
And even energy into esports, and they're amazingly brilliant, good at it. I respect them so much for what they do.
Well, Louis, all I can say is thank you for this amazing input that you guys have been, bringing to the table at the school level, because it's certainly going to be making a very big difference going forward in the grand scheme of things. So it's really awesome, and best of luck to you guys.
Thank you very much.
Good luck this weekend. That was Louis van der Merwe from Paul Roos Gymnasium, and what an amazing thing to hear from his side, Nick.
Honestly, what I would have given anything to have a principal with that sort of backing when you're busy playing the game you love, right? Yes, it's seen as a bit more taboo, but we're going out of that sort of realm where esports is becoming a lot more mainstream, which is exactly what we all love in the esports world ourselves. So I 100% respect the Paul Roos Gymnasium principal and what he has back backing for the high school E-League, and we're seeing exactly what's happening, right? They're on the way for a 3 back-to-back CSGO winning squad, so definitely kudos to him, and whatever he's doing it right.
I mean, they're even getting a little gaming esports facility set up there with 6 machines that are going to be geared for gaming, not just using the computer lab, which can run games. It's actually geared specifically for esports. And that's exactly what you want, right? You want all the facilities in place. He spoke about getting coaches as well. Like in your traditional coaches, you have your specific coaches for the different sports. They're going to be incorporating that in as time goes by. And that's exactly what you want to see. So fantastic to hear that. And we continue to move forward in South Africa and in esports as well. Whew. Hello everybody and welcome to the Telkom VS Gaming High School Esports League. We have got a phenomenal final on today between Roos Gymnasium and indeed Parklands College. It is going to be a best of 3 matchup to see which school will be crowned the champions of the High School Esports League. Will it be Roos Gymnasium making the three-peat? They won in 2018, they won in 2019, and they're looking to do it again here today. Or will be Parklands College finding their debut maiden title, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, Roos, what they would give for a back-to-back-to-back CSGO victory, right?
Yeah.
I mean, HSEL, they've been here since it's been young.
Yeah.
The question is, can they make it 3 in a row? We've seen this with other sports across schools, and now esports is being more mainstream, and you've seen this from the schools that are competing in the tournament. Started off with 38, now there's 2. It's Roos, it's Parklands College. The question is, can Roos make it the three-peat?
That is a good question, Nick. These two teams did play against each other twice throughout the year. The first occasion, Roos Gymnasium won 16-13, and on the second match, Roos Gymnasium won 16-14 on Mirage. So, Nick, in the past 2 games that they played against each other, yes, Roos Gymnasium have gotten the better of them, but they've both been very closely contested games. So, off the back of that, anything can happen today.
Yeah, definitely. They've both been very contested games, and they've both been best of ones, right? So best of ones, they're known for really going either way. And today, it's a grand final, it's a best of 3. So definitely the better team on the server is going to take the victory. But the question is, yes, Roos, they've got the 2-0 up against Parklands College. But what a better time to show that you have fight left in you if you're Parklands College. And if you win out the best of 3, obviously you get your maiden title.
Yeah.
And you knock Roos off the porch that they find themselves on. 2 in a row. Can they make it 3? Parklands College, they're going to want to take that away from them.
Absolutely, they are. I'm talking a little bit more about the High School Esports League. If you're not familiar with it, it's an innovation that's come through from Telkom VS Gaming, and it's one of their ways that they're enterprising gaming through the different high schools across the country, and just trying to get it up there with the mainstream traditional sports as well, integrating the schools with esports and getting it at that ground level. It's exactly how you want to approach it as well, because now we've got players who are playing in big finals already. We spoke to Adapt earlier. He's only 16 years old and he's already playing in a final like this, which it builds up that big match temperament, grows their experience, and they haven't even played in like a really big esports team yet. When they do reach that stage of their careers, when they're ready to make that jump, they're going to have that experience behind them already.
They're going to have that experience. They're going to be ice cold in the server when you're fighting for best of 5 grand finals when there's 100,000 rand on the line.
Yeah.
Sounds awfully familiar, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to see maybe Adapt as a prospect for the future. I think he definitely is. As you said, 16 years of age, he's in grade 11. He's doing what he can in the academics front at Parklands College, and now it's his time to show what he can do on the serve. And he's going to be against Electrics. He's well known in the scene for Roos. He plays for Ikasi. He had a stint in Critical 5, so he's got the experience and the backing in terms of teams that he's played in the South African scene.
Yeah.
But now it's a team format in the school scene. So we're going to see if Roos can make it 3, or if Parklands College are going to get their maiden victory.
Yeah. Talking a little bit about people who have made it big from the High School Esports League. One of the players who played in the final last year, his name is Mistim, and he is now in ATK as the captain and IGL the very next year, and he's going to be partaking in that grand final of the Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5 a bit later on at 1:30. That broadcast will start. Match goes live at 2 p.m. But that's exactly the storyline that we want to be looking at, right? You got Mistim, who's come up through the ranks of the High School Esports League, and he's now transitioned into South Africa's best CSGO team and one of the top organizations as well, with a very large prospect of them going to America next year as well.
Yeah, definitely. So that's something to look at. So if you look at Mistum's blueprint, at what he's done, he's come through the high school esports ranks, and now he's fighting for ATK and possibly looking to go overseas to North America, right? So it's something interesting to look at. That Mistum, he's come through the ranks of the high school esports league. He fought it out. He competed last year. Unfortunately, he didn't get the W. But the question is, he's part of ATK now, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you've gone through the ranks. You can go with his blueprint and maybe take part like Mistum did, and maybe adapt, and Electrics will follow suit.
We'll have to wait and find out. We have got the veto in the first map will be Inferno, picked by Parklands College. The second map will be Nuke, picked by Paul Roos Gymnasium. I'm surprised that Nuke's been brought to the table here, considering what a complex map it actually is. And maybe that gives us a bit of insight into how much work Paul Roos Gymnasium have been doing, because Nuke is one of those maps where if you've been practicing a lot and stratting it really hard, generally you're going to be able to win against opposition who haven't been playing the map at all, Nick.
Yeah, definitely. Nuke is more of these intricate maps where you need to have your rotator on points. If no one's down that B bomb site, then it's pretty much going to be a free round wins for the T side. For the CT side, if you have your setup on lock, then the T side, they're going to have a really hard time trying to fight that out. The Inferno pick is a bit iffy. I know Chili Willy, he knows he plays over towards half forward, like a Mag 7 and a Negev towards upper B, so maybe we're going to see that throughout the matchup. And Inferno is more, in terms of this sort of scene, probably a bit more of a puggy sort of map, so we're going to see what they can get done. But as you said, Paul Roos, they probably put in a lot of the work on a map like Nuke, where they can take it out as a trump card pick, and maybe Parklands won't even be able to show up on a map like that. If you think about the people that are in the server, they don't have all the experience in the world, so maybe Paul Roos, maybe they've got the one up on Nuke, but you never know what could happen. Maybe Parklands College, they've also been practicing it a lot. I doubt these two teams have a 6 map pool, maybe even a 5 map pool, but maybe that Nuke pick, it could be a trump card for the side of Paul Roos.
Perhaps we're going to have to wait and find out. We're moments away from jumping into this grand final best of 3 of the high school esports league between Paul Roos Gymnasium and Parklands College, and we will see who will be crowned as the champions here this morning. As Nick said, we're going to be having the potential of the three-peat from Paul Roos Gymnasium, as they won in the past 2 years. Parklands College looking to find their maiden title. They did lose out to Paul Roos Gymnasium a bit earlier on in the season. They actually lost twice, 16-13 and 16-14 in 2 separate best of ones. Means that both of those games were very close, right? So coming into this grand final, there's every chance that they could walk away with the win. The one thing I will touch on is that the map that they played on was Mirage, where Paul Roos Gymnasium won 16-14, and Paul Roos Gymnasium came into this match and they vetoed Mirage off the bat. So taking that away, maybe one of the strengths of Parklands College. And into the game we go, Nick.
Yeah, definitely. Electric, he's brought up some utility to peek towards upper B on Inferno. This is the map of Parklands College, so if all the things go right, then Parklands College should be getting the map under lock. But Paul Roos, they've selected the CT side. That's what happens if you pick the map, then your opponent chooses to pick the side you're on. But Chili, he's going to be probing over towards Zaps with the Glock in hand. Kaz, he's just going to clear out towards second middle, but there is going to be a 5-man T set up towards the A bomb site. But it looks like Paul Roos, they've got the read. 4 players already, and they're here in waiting. Electrics is rotated in with the nade, so if that's well placed, you can get something done. But it's going to be contact over towards Archer that they get taken. Raz and Savage chime in for one of their own. Exalt trades out Savage towards Pit. So Electrics is going to push the issue, and he's going to take Blazed out of the equation. So now it's a 4v2 situation. The bomb is on the bomb site. Kaz opens that up, and now it's a 2v3. The bomb is going to be planted, but they're going to try to push the issue. Electrics gets taken out, but Raz comes in with the trade. Exalt gets the one into PC Boys. Now it's a 1v1. Raz against Exalt. It's a bit of an awkward tussle towards the back of the site, but Exalt's going to try to push the issue. Raz is going to jump up onto the box. Exalt took a while to spot him out. He's jumped down. What is going on? It's still a 1v1. The clock is ticking. Razi's going to try to press the issue. He can't retrieve a kit. There's no one to be retrieved. He's going to get out the win. He's going to win out the gunfight. 3 kills in the round, of the bomb is going to be defused. And Paul Roos, they're starting off well on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, that was chaotic though, Nick. Just back and forth. Somehow the clutch nearly came through there for Exalt. Senior even tried to knife somebody in the A bomb side at one point. So it was just absolute chaos. In the end, though, Paul Roos Gymnasium do complete the retake and they get across the line. So they go up 1-0 here on Parkland College's map pick.
Yeah, definitely.
Going to be the savior for Parklands College. So no full force coming through from them off the back of that bomb plant. They know they'll be able to fully buy in the next round. So they're just going to be charging up Banana here. The classic rush B, trying to make something happen. Actually, a bit of a fake here from Chili Willy towards the top of middle as well, trying to take some presence. But Raz, he's going to be spotting him out. Unfortunately for him, able to make sure he doesn't get caught off guard. And the information's now been fed through to Electrics as this hit comes through onto the B bomb site. But these pistols should get mowed down by the SMGs with relative ease. And we do see PC Boy coming into the equation as well with the double kill there. Paul Roos Gymnasium, they've got this round under wraps. They don't even drop a single player. So that's going to bode quite nicely for their economy as their money starts to accrue. And welcome everybody. This is the Telkom VS Gaming Masters High School Esports League. And it's great to have everyone here supporting these young up-and-coming players, the future prodigies of South African Counter-Strike, starting very young.
Yeah, Paul Roos, they're going to try and make it a back-to-back high school esports league championships. They've got 2 rounds up on Parklands College's map picks. They're going to be looking to clean this one up at 2-0 as fast as possible if they would allow to do so. But they're going to fight over towards this Banana control Electrics. He's going to take first contact over towards Blaze. There's no deep smoke in Banana, which is going to make this gunfight a bit awkward. That's why Adapt is able to help his teammate out and get the opening kill of the round. This is a full investment from the side of Parklands College. Just SMGs of FAMAS and an M4 on the side of Paul Roos. They won the first 2 rounds rather.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they can get done with these SMGs. You want to start playing these closer angles to activate these MP9s. They're not going to be potent from range. We're going to see Parklands, they're going to press the issue over towards the A-bomb site.
Yeah, with that one-man advantage, Parklands College looking to drive this round home. They've certainly got superior weaponry with the AKs right now. The rotations are coming through from Paul Roos Gymnasium, and they're getting positioned to deal with this hit. Senior fully blinded up by that flash by Chili Willy into the smoke, and that's going to be allowing him to entry his way forward. Kaz also takes down Savage, so a nice frag from him means the bomb plant will be secured. It's just Raz and PC Boy left here to try and get this round across the line. It seems like they're going to be looking to save, but I don't even think Raz is going to be able to take the weapon into the next round. Oh no, the shots are fluffed by Blaze, but he will get another opportunity to secure the frag, and he does exactly that. So, really nice gun round coming out of Parklands College here, Nick, as they secure themselves full control of the A-bomb site, and they don't even lose a single player.
Yeah, 100%. We were talking about the fact that Paul Roos didn't drop a single player in the anti-eco, but this is a different beast. This is a full buy round. This is 5 AKs that you had on your hands against the buy of Paul Roos and Parklands College. They don't drop a single player, which really bodes well for their economy, but Paul Roos, they will still be able to reinvest into the next round if they choose to do so. PC Boy can drop over the AWP if he wants to, or he can purchase up an M4 and drop over the FAMAS to someone else, but I do assume we will see a Paul Roos investment coming out from that, and that is going to come out, so he's going to drop the AWP over towards Raz. So now it's another full investment from both sides. Parklands College will be better off if they do lose this round. The same can't be said about Paul Roos. If they lose this round, they're in double eco territory. Parklands College, they built up a bit of bank, as we said, because of 5 people staying alive in the previous gun round. But that Banana take in the early gun round is something to keep in mind. They need to iron that out if they want to fight over towards Banana. But Raz, he could get caught with his pants down. But he's been doing his KZ. He's been in the community climb. He's got everything on the wraps. He strafes around the corner and he gets out with his life alive.
Yeah, it's so important that he got out there alive as well. If he had been taken down, that would have been so tough for his team to salvage the round. Alive and kicking here with this AWP, trying to have an impact. In the meanwhile, nice default coming out of Parklands College, just taking brackets control, taking apartments control. They still have that player posted at the bottom of Banana to make sure there's no quick flank coming through, and I'm quite impressed right now by Paul Roos Gymnasium. You can see that they're being nice and careful in their approach right now, ensuring that they're flashing all the angles with all the fights that they're taking, using their util efficiently as well. This is looking pretty good from Parklands College right now as they start working their way onto the A-bomb site. Raz repositions towards Library. That would be heard, but he does still connect on the shot. And now we can continue to focus on the A-bomb site. That one-man advantage primed and ready for Paul Roos Gymnasium to get across the line in this round, unless Parklands College can make it happen on the A-bomb site. Nice frag there from Adapt as he forces the issue onto Senior, and that will be the bomb site secured.
3v3 retake, and there's a late rotate coming out from PC Boy. Raz, he's going to trade out the AWP for the AK. There's no one on the other side of the smoke, but obviously he doesn't know this, but a flash towards lane is going to allow for Electrics to clear that out, as 2 avenues of the bomb site are going to be retaken from N1 as well as Arch. But the question is, does PC Boy get entertained towards his Arch position in the bomb site? Is Exalt, and he's going to take out PC Boy full blind. Raz is going to try to push the issue, and so is Electrics. Electrics comes out with the trade. He gets 1, he gets 2, but eventually Adapt trades it out.
Yeah, nice trade frag there from Adapt. Good spacing from Parklands College, not taking any unnecessary fights in the post plants and just dealing with the Paul Roos Gymnasium players as they make their way forward. So this is now going to be an eco for PRG.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind there, as soon as the A side hit came in, there was that play over towards Pitt. I want to say it was Savage, but I don't think it was. So I'm just going to say the play over towards Pitt. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. But if you're the Pitt player, you're not supposed to be fighting in that sort of scenario. You're just supposed to stay alive, make the T's do all the work to try to kill you. But you swinging out and giving Parklands a free kill pretty much allowed for the free bomb site to be hit. And if you have that Pitt player that stays alive as long as possible, even when the T's are in the site, then you're a nail in the opponent's side. But unfortunately, that Pitt player fell extremely early into the A hit. So that's something to keep in mind, whether they can iron that out further on, keeping that avenue of defense in that A bomb site. But it is going to be Parklands College posting 3 in a row to Paul Roos's 2. And there's going to be an investment coming out from Paul Roos. There's a scout on the side of Raz, and Paul Roos, they've chosen to take a timeout into this next round.
Yeah, just wanted to discuss exactly how they're going to be approaching the CT round and make sure that they've got everything under control. It's going to be the scout for Raz, Nick. So unfortunately, no AWP for him going into this next gun round. Of course, it makes a big difference whether you have the AWP or the scout. Yes, both of them are scoped weapons, but the AWP has that one-shot kill potential regardless of where you hit the player, as opposed to the scout where you have to hit the headshot if you're going to get that one-shot kill. So it makes it surmountably more difficult. And look at the money on the side of Parklands College. All 4 players are above that $4,000 mark, bar Adapt, but he's not too far behind either. So they've got themselves a nice buffer, economically speaking. And Parklands College have got off to a nice start here on their T side, Nick. You can see that their Inferno is looking pretty well oiled, to be fair. The tag does come through from Raz, and he's just going to be running the same line once again.
Yeah, Chili was full blind. He gets tagged to 27 HP, and he's like, guys, what just happened? Like, hello?
Did my teammate tag me down?
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
what
he's like,
happened?
he's running out. He's traded out for the AWP already, so that's going to be something to keep in mind. But,
and the reason for that, right, is because Chili Willy's been tagged down to 27 health, so he'll be more effective with that one-shot weapon compared to his teammate who then gets the AK. Normally, when you have the AK, you take extended fights, and that doesn't work out when you're fairly low. Now the aggression's coming towards the B-bomb side for Parklands College. They've had all their success towards the A-bomb side throughout the entirety of this map, so now they're changing it up, and they're going to be looking to try and get the job done on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I do want to see come out from Paul Roos is fighting for banana control. We haven't really seen them come out. They just throw a couple nades early round and fall back, so that's going to be something interesting to see. But the issue is going to be pushed over towards the B-bomb side. 4 players are going to be hitting the side. PC Boy caught in no man's land over towards Family. He's dropped, and the player Electrics, rather, he's stuck behind the smoke over towards Coffins. Now it's going to be a 4v5 retake. There is a player Exalt towards bottom middle. Raz is actually Savage, rather, is going to get one through the smoke. Question is Electrics, he's on the other side of the smoke. The smoke is faded. It no longer shrouds his position, so Kaz is able to open up his account. Senior gets one and Savage gets one of his own. So now it's a 3v2 retake. Both players over towards Banana. There's a smoke to cut out their position, but the question is, does Savage choose to block it out over there? The site has been cleared. The smoke has been dropped. Both players are behind it. Exalt gets killed through the smoke. 10-second defuse. The question is, can Adapt get something done? He tries to flash through. He gets killed by Raz. The defuse has been stuck.
Yeah.
And Paul Roos have posted their 3rd on the board.
Yeah, thankfully that defuse did get stuck when it had, because the player didn't have a kit and time was certainly running out. Good job there by the players on Paul Roos Gymnasium to cover the diffuser as well, and they get themselves that 3rd round, bringing an end to a 3-round win streak for Parklands College.
Yeah, Paul Roos found themselves 3-all. There is going to be another full investment coming out from Parklands College, though. They do have the money in the bank, as we alluded to prior, having a really clean buy round to sort after, and a clean anti-eco after that one. So there's going to be a full investment from both teams. 2 AWPs on the server. And banana control once again going to go the way of Parklands College. No real rebuttal from the side of Paul Roos.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
self-smoke there just to preempt any mollies. A bit of a one-way as well for him to try and exploit, but you normally only want to drop that smoke when you know that the aggression is coming through from the T side, because now it's going to have pretty much dissipated before the T players start making their way forward. And Parklands College, they've gone back to their bread and butter here. 4 players towards the A-bomb side. They've taken top mid control. They've got a player in apartments as well. The flashbang comes through, but Blaze still does get taken down, and Raz, looking to repeat this, will find a 2nd frag onto Chili Willy. So Paul Roos Gymnasium starting to find their footing here on the CT side of Inferno.
definitely. Raz gets 2 opening frags in the round. Kaz, he's going to try a bit of a puggy play, walking through the smoke. 61 points of ult. His gun barrel's been spotted. That's a free kill for Electrics.
I like the idea, though, considering they're down
respect
5v3 and there's a gap in the smoke. He tries to get on top of that and capitalize on the opportunity that presented itself. In the meantime, though, over towards the A bomb site, Savage is going to find one, as well as Senor. The only frag coming through in the round for Parklands College was Exalt. And that's pretty much brought to an end of that the bank that Parklands College had, right? Not really going to be able to afford a full buy in this round.
There was nothing really wrong in that round from Paul Roos. The only critique I do have was Senor obviously dropping that smoke really early over towards pit. As you said, you only really want to be dropping that smoke when you get contact, when you know that the hit's coming in.
Yeah.
Because if you drop that smoke and they're not even hitting the bomb site, you're pretty much just wasting your smoke. And if you're a pit player, that smoke is vital to hold on to that position of the map, but it's just going to be an eco, and he's going to be Raz. The issue is going to be pressed over towards Arch, towards him. He's good for one. His teammate Savage comes to help him out, so Blazed and Chili Willy, they dropped early, and that's the cancel from the side of Parklands College. They try to rush down Chili, 2 players fall, and they've chosen to cancel on that, but both the players rather. Savage in the bomb site, he takes out Exalt. Now it's just Kaz and Adapt left to wrestle this round back in Parklands College favour. Adapt, he's got a bit of an opening over towards Arch. He's able to catch Electrics with his knife out. It's a bit of a miscom there, understanding that both players were still in the site. Surely you should know that someone CT. Maybe that just wasn't called through to Electrics, but it is going to be a 2v3 PC boy. He's chosen to reposition over towards Family, understanding that this CT pinch could come out, but both Parklands College players are over towards the A bomb site. One in apps and one in lane. And Senor, he's going to be taking contact. He's good for one. Now it's Adapt, and Senor cleans up the round.
Yeah, nice approach there from Parklands College to molly out pit like that, and you force Senor into the open. And Kaz was waiting on the balcony for him to come through with that peak, but unfortunately he couldn't connect on the shot in time. It was just a mere eco round, though. Parklands College looking to try and build up their money so that they can afford a full buy round coming into this round. AKs across the board, util at their disposal as well. And Nick, everybody's chipping in, everybody's fragging already. It's still early days, but I've been pretty impressed by what I've seen from these guys so far. I'm not sure about you, but
yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of potential on the server right now.
Yeah, and we're seeing what the teachers have said come to fruition. Okay, that was a bit of a lackadaisical peak from Chile, but we're seeing what the teachers say, right? That they're treating esports as a traditional sport in that regard. They're getting the training that the players need. They're going through practices, and we're seeing the teamwork coming out from both of these teams. They're peeking together, flashing angles, and they're playing decent Counter-Strike altogether, which is what matters in this sort of regard. They have the same sort of structure that a rugby team has, that a football team has. So we're going to see what they can get done, making esports a bit more mainstream in schools. Raz, he's been smoked off over towards Arch, and he's going to see if he can get something done. Adapt, he's actually going to push the smoke, but over towards upper B is Kaz. He's dropped by Electrics, but now they need to understand that the CT pinch could come in, and that is why the 2 players towards upper B, they've chosen to reposition. But Raz, he's going to read Blaze like the Jungle Book, as easy as you like. He's read him easy peasy. Exalt and Adapt left in a 2v5, and they're on opposite extremities of the map.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to pincer onto this B bomb site. You can see that Adapt is in banana, although as I said, he's taking the bomb, and it looks like he's circling back towards the A site, where there are still 3 players for Paul Roos Gymnasium, but again, changing their mind at the last second. 33 seconds left on the clock, so they're going to have to make a decision here and commit to it. And it seems like it is indeed going to be that B split, but Electrics with the AWP, he still has the angle on lockdown, and now it's up to Adapt in a 1 versus 5 to try and get this round across the line for his team. Remember, saving on the T side is not really favorable, because if you survive the end of the round, you're not going to have any money coming your way going into the next round, and then you end up very disjointed from the rest of your team because they all got money and you didn't, so it becomes a bit of an awkward position. And it seems like Adapt is indeed going to be saving his AK here and taking it into the next round. Paul Roos Gymnasium on a bit of a hot streak here. I think that's their 4th consecutive round they've won now.
Yeah, definitely, and we're seeing why they were back-to-back winners already, and they're trying to make it 3. This is Parklands College map pick. Inferno, traditionally more CT side, however the meta today is making it a bit more T side, a bit more even, so we're going to see what Paul Roos can get done. They're going to try to post as many rounds on the CT side as possible, but with teams that aren't as rehearsed, you wouldn't expect such a strong T side coming out from them, so you would expect CTs to have a bit of an easier time. But Electrics, he's going to push the issue over towards Banana. He's good for 1. He's going to get out and dodge, drop that molly, which is going to try to deny that refrag, but Adapt, he's just going to push it and go through. He's going to take down Electrics. Now it's just one player left in the bomb site. That is PC Boy. Is he going to be cleared out? It doesn't look like he's good for one. He's just got to stay alive. Get a flash from teammate. Two on the
Boy.
Oh.
The triple spray down. Holding down mouse button 1, he gets so much damage done. And that leaves Roos Gymnasium in a far better position than what they were a couple seconds ago. It's only Kaz left alive in a 1 versus 3, and the bomb hasn't even been planted. So Roos Gymnasium, they shouldn't be forcing the issue here. They don't need to take these fights, and they're going to line up for Kaz. He now knows where one of the second players are, and off the back of that grenade, he knows that Senior's towards CT as well. This is very winnable for Kaz, but Raz, he comes through with the AWP, locks down the angle, and gets the job done.
Yeah, Raz is just better than Kaz, you know? Raz, Kaz, easy peasy, Roos 7. And yeah, in that round, if you're Roos, you shouldn't really be entertaining any of those gunfights. You're really giving him an avenue into winning the round, but ultimately, Raz, he just posts up towards family, posted on the angle with the AWP. As soon as Kaz gives him an inch, Raz takes his life, and Roos takes 7 compared to Parklands 3, and they're really having a really astute CT side rather. As Raz, he's going to open it up once more over towards the bottom of Banana.
Yeah, notice how nicely Electrics has been using his flashbangs, by the way, towards top Banana. You can see he's certainly got his util under wraps. Raz gets tagged down by Chili Willy. Have been impressed by the util usage so far throughout this game from both of these teams, in fact. Roos Gymnasium with just 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and a molly left to try and get across the line, rather Parklands College, excuse me. Roos Gymnasium, they've got plenty of util left at their disposal. You can see they're just sitting back and posting. Nothing special coming out of them from the CT side. No over-aggression, which is what I thought I'd be seeing quite a lot of from these guys, looking to take a lot of unnecessary fights. But they're playing nicely disciplined Counter-Strike right now, Nick.
Especially when you get the opening frag, you have every right to just turtle in the bomb site, play a 2-3 setup. You know, you've got a good crossfire over towards B, 1 player on the site, 1 player towards CT. You've got a good setup on A. They're actually going to take up a B control, 45 seconds left in the clock, and cheat that rotate over towards Arch. That is Raz that's going to be hightailing at that area of the map. He's posted down. Savage and PC Boy are going to get some frags into the round. Adapt, he's going to repress the issue, which is a bit questionable considering you've already missed the AWP shot. That was a misplay by Raz, but Adapt, he's going to entertain it more and make it a bigger misplay by him. So now it's Blaze left in a 1v5, and Parklands College, they know 1v5s all too well. The last 2 rounds have just been 1v5s, and Blazed, he's going to get...
Nice shots,
I was about to say he's going to get taken out, but Senior, he gets taken out by Blazed. Blazed firing hot coming into this 1v5, turned 1v4, 10 seconds left on the clock. There's no ways he's going to win the round, but the question is he going to die after time? Only $640 left in bank accounts, and that's why Electrics is posted towards bottom middle. But if you're Roos, you really got to start hunting for this frag, but they're not going to entertain it.
It's okay. I mean, they definitely have some extra cash in the bank, but they're in such a good position right now. They don't want to be giving anything away. Raz is off to a phenomenal start here in the final of the high school esports league. He's already 14-4 on the CT side of his opponent's map pick. The one thing I will touch on is Chili Willy is definitely one of the players that we're a bit more familiar with coming into this game, and he hasn't really been able to find his footing just yet. Two frags and 9 deaths definitely shows that he's struggled to get going here on Inferno. Still early days though, and he has got that big green gun in his hands, so certainly potential to get something done.
Definitely. And we're seeing Roos, they're pushing the issue over towards upper B once again. He doesn't even care about his AWP, you know, he's just going to switch out for the Deagle.
In that round?
No, he had an AWP, but he just switched out for the Deagle to take that up close and personal gunfights. But we're seeing Roos push this issue over towards Banana. Once again, they're getting all the info pretty much for free. That's why they're able to cheat the rotate over towards the A bomb site. So 4 Ts are going to be pushing 4 CTs. Senior, he's dropped that smoke very early once again. But Electrics, he's going to push the issue over towards Lane with a good flash coming in from his teammates. He's good for 1. He's going to get out and dodge. Electrics knows that he can't repress the issue. PC Boy, he's still posted towards the bottom of Banana. Flash is going to come in from Exalt, which isn't actually going to blind the player over towards upper B. Electrics, he's chosen to rotate back, knowing that it is a 5v3. PC Boy, he's left in no man's land. He's going to get out and dodge, get back in towards the bomb site. So it is going to be 3 Ts pushing the 2 CTs on the bomb side. PC Boy, will he get caught in transition? He's going to drop a smoke. Kaz going to get a flashbang to come in. A team kill actually comes in, but the bomb side is open. A 2v3 post plants is what it's going to be. A gap in the CT smoke allows for Raz to catch Exalt, crossing over towards Family. Now in the smoke is Kaz, up close to Burstall, but the smoke's faded and no longer shards his position.
Oh man, he needed like
and
5
Raz
more
gets
seconds.
Yeah, definitely.
That smoke had just a little bit left in it. He could have made the play there. I like the idea behind it, but unfortunately for him, it had just dissipated, left him entirely exposed. He left the curtain open while he was changing, Nick, and everybody saw him.
Oh, such an awkward encounter, you know. He left it open, no longer shrouded his position.
Yeah.
And Paul Roos, they post 9. They're looking really good on their opponent's map pick. And if you're Parklands College, it's almost panic stations at this stage. You find yourself 9-3 down on the T side rather. Nuke is your opponent's map pick, and if you haven't been practicing Nuke, you're not going to have a good time on that map. But Parklands College, they're here for a reason. Yes, they've fallen to Paul Roos early in the tournament, but they know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
Even though they're 6 rounds down, they can still make it a 9-6 half, and then we definitely have got a game on our hands.
I mean, we saw the potential at the start of this half, right? In those 3 consecutive rounds they won, it was looking really clean. Their defaults were looking solid. But Paul Roos Gymnasium have just started hitting their shots, and that's pretty much what's been setting these two teams apart right now. Parklands College just getting picked apart too much before they actually get the execute going. I want to see them going back to their straight-up basic A hit, where they just had all 4 players grouped up top mid. They took apartments control, and then they just burst onto that A bomb site through lane. Don't need to get too complex, don't need to be too dynamic, no need to even force the issue towards archers, but this is it. This is them keeping it simple. Just 5 players charging up Banana right now, and they're going to be catching these players in transition on the B bomb side. The AWPer can't even get back towards the coffins, and now it's all on Electrics, rooted in Family. He's got 5 players on his doorstep right now, and surely he's a dead man walking. He does go down, and this is an important round win for Parklands College. They got to get this one across the line, Nick.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, Parklands College, they're just going back to basics. You spoke about that fast A hit. This is the first time we've actually seen that fast B hit, just the Mac 10 purchased up, running over towards upper B. But that was a bit choreographed from Paul Roos. They've done that upper B smoke a couple times and probed towards upper B a couple times prior. So they're being a bit predictable coming into the shine of Parklands College. They're adapting. They're going to post their 4th. 3 players from Paul Roos are going to survive. They do have enough bank to buy pretty much for the next couple rounds. So Parklands College, they've still got an uphill battle, that being said, but 5 players staying up and all retrieved. So the only inferior weapon will be that Mac 10 going into the next round. It is kind of confusing considering you did drop Electrics over towards Family, so maybe you should go back and look for that M4 when the bombs exploded. But Blazed, he looks content with that Mac 10, so we'll see what he can get done next round on it.
Yeah, he's going to get like a 3K this round with the Mac 10 and just completely show you what's up, bro.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, Paul Roos Gymnasium, they've got more than enough money in the bank to muster up another buy here and another buy in the next 2 rounds as well, regardless of how they transpire. So they've got a nice little backing, a nice little buffer going on for them right now. On the side of Parklands College, they get back to winning ways off the back of that previous round, but they need to string a few more together here. The 11-4 halftime scoreline just wouldn't do them justice. And it seems like they are just going to be going back to that really basic approach of just keeping everybody grouped up together and then executing on the bomb site from there. Are they just going to continue with this pace forward? It looks like they do want to try and get aggressive here again. We saw the aggression worked out well for them in the previous round. And they are going to be making their way forward up lane. Also 3 players coming through the apartments. The flashbang coming through to support his teammates from Exalt. And the Util starting to rain in as well to try and force this pit player out. They know that he has to be there somewhere. But the crossfire is still set up here. Savage able to find 2 before he goes down. But those frags have been traded. It's a 3 versus 3. Raz relinquishes control of the bomb site. And the bomb plant will be secured here as soon as Exalt can get onto that site. But it has given a few extra seconds for Paul Roos Gymnasium to get in position here to make this retake happen.
3v3 retake. You got PC Boy with still full belt of utility, which is nice to see players holding onto that utility. They don't really have a reason to expend it in the round, so that's going to be pivotal coming into this. So a smoke is going to block off the pit player. Electrics, he's going to try to push through the arch smoke a bit preemptively in that regard. PC Boy, I speak about him having a full belt of utility. He's not going to need any of it. He's going to take 2 out. Now it's Chili Willy left in 1v2. They line up for him. And as easy as you like. Maybe if you had that molly, you drop it over towards pitch, you can flash the player out. But PC Boy, he just wanted to take the gunfight. Yes, he yielded himself too, but they overlooked that pit position. Chili Willy, he's able to get 2 in the round, in the 1v2 at least. And Parklands College, they posting their 5th, which is a really good response to the 9-3 scoreline that they were staring themselves in the face 2 rounds prior. But they posted 2 in a row, and they're looking good coming into the second half. In the last round of this half, 9-5 is the score, and it's a full investment from both sides.
Looks like it's going to be a deep banana take here from Paul Roos Gymnasium. As they get 3 players posted up towards the top of Banana at the start of the round. After they've secured control, they're able to rotate the one extra player out. But Parklands College, they've caught wind of this. They're pushing the aggression here towards A already. Look at how far forward their players have gotten. They could be catching Paul Roos Gymnasium off guard. Nice frag there from Adapt, and he's going to be doubling up as he takes down Savage as well. Completely blows the door wide open on the A bomb site, and all but secures the 6th round for Parklands College in the half.
Especially with that kill from Chili Willy coming in, Exalt and Adapt, clean up the round. 9-6 the half. And if you're Parklands College, you're looking at a 9-3 scoreline in the face.
Yeah.
You're able to post the last 3 rounds of the half, and things are looking really good for you. 9-6 the half, and if you can convert this pistol, things are looking good. But the names we were talking about, Adapt, he's at the top of his team, and Raz and Electrics, they're firing at all cylinders for the most part. Raz, he's having a bit of a better time, 17-6. He's really showing up. Electrics, he's 10-11, 3 assists on his hands. But if you think he's been more of that utility player over towards upper B, flashing for his teammate Raz to peak. So he's being a bit more of a support player. But it's 9-6 in favour of Paul Roos and their opponent's map pick. We're going to see what they can get done on the T side. They're just going back to a stock standard B rush. There are going to be 2 players here. Chili's playing up close. He's taken down. He's decapitated by Savage. Being the Savage, he is running into the bomb site. He wants blood. He smells blood.
Bro.
He takes down Adapt.
Like that, just F1 race car into
Exactly,
that B bomb site. I mean, it's fitting because there is the F1 race, the Russian Grand Prix coming up later. And he's just like Hamilton on pole, charging into that B bomb site. Nobody could stop him, and he takes the head clean off that B bomb site player. Blazed and Exalt, the 2 players remaining here to try and get this retake done, but it's a 2 versus 5. Nick, just doesn't seem like a very realistic prospect as they continue to force the issue. They're hanging around, but they genuinely are dead man walking. Savage, he picks up his 3rd frag in the round. Great entries from him.
Yeah, definitely Savage. He had a great double entry towards upper B. But one thing I do want to see more teams do is there's nothing wrong with saving on the pistol round. You purchased up that armor, you can still go into the next round, especially if you're investing into the next round, which you are. Chili Willy, he's purchased up that Mag 7. I assume that's going to be towards upper B, playing towards the close wall. But if you're going to invest into this round, why not save the armor in the last? It was a 2v5. There's no way you're going to win the retake. But be there as it may, we find ourselves on the anti-eco for the most part from Paul Roos. But Kaz, he's going to push the issue over towards the bottom of middle. Electrics and Raz chime in for one of their own. Kaz, he's able to get out and dodge. Raz, he's going to switch out for the USP. It is going to be a 4v3 mid-round. Chili, he's probed over towards upper B, and he's going to try to push the issue, but the Mag 7 at range can't get much done besides the frag onto Raz. And it is going to be early trades going the way, but the bombs and plants on the S side, they said, you guys can have B, you guys can have some guns to your names, but we're just going to get out and dodge and plant the bomb on the air bomb side. 3v3 retake. No kits in the hands of Parklands College, but a molly towards Pit is going to flush PC Boy out, but he's repositioned to good effect.
Yeah, as you said, no kit though for Parklands College. They need to get this one across the line as quickly as they possibly can, but PC Boy is going to pick up a double kill with the AK, and all but secures the round for his team. Looking solid here for Paul Roos Gymnasium on the T side. They've gotten off to a good start. That was a 4-spy from Parklands College as well, and they weren't able to get anything done, so now they're going to have to save, Nick, and that should be making the scoreline 12-6. So this map certainly starting to lean towards Paul Roos Gymnasium. That next gun round coming up will be the all-important gun round to see exactly what we have in store for the rest of this map. Do Parklands College have what it takes to get the job done on the CT side once they get the weapons? Or are we going to be seeing Paul Roos Gymnasium steamrolling their way through this map?
What Parklands College are doing is steamrolling through apps, but Senior, he's going to be entertaining that. Chili Willy's able to get one over towards upper B with the Mag 7-2. Actually, okay, so if you're Paul Roos, you're getting out of B. There's a Mag 7 up there. You've got 2 picks over towards A. So surely you're going to get out and dodge and go towards the A bomb site. They're not going to entertain that Swag 7 over towards upper B, but Exalt, he's going to entertain Senior's Mag 10.
Yeah, this is getting awkward for Paul Roos Gymnasium, and they don't even really have anything to go off of here, Nick. Looks like they're going to be grouping up in apartments and perhaps just charging onto the same bomb site. Subtlety certainly not the name of their game as they charge forward. Fairly low health on Raz, and Exalt's been able to take down one with the CZ, and he's done a crazy amount of damage to another one as well. PC Boy will trade it out, but he's just got such a tough job on his hands right now in the 1 versus 2 with only 13 health left to his name. He wants to try and get the bomb plants at the bare minimum here, but Adapt, he's going to be pushing forward. In fact, the plant doesn't even come through. Chili Willy, he gets his 3rd frag in the round. Nick, you said it at the start of the map. He loves to pick up the Mag 7 and just go top banana, and we've already seen it coming through in the past 2 rounds, and he's already had some success.
Yeah, definitely. But if you're Paul Roos, you've got to understand that there could be a player behind half wall, so a molly is going to be his kryptonite. If you molly him out and you force the Mag 7 to play at range, then he's pretty much going to be null and void. So Paul Roos, they need to be doing their checks a bit more thoroughly in that regard, so we are going to see what they can get done. But Chile, he doesn't have the mag 7 into the round. He's got that saved AK, and they're going to push the issue towards up B. Chile opens up with 2, 1 into Electrics and 1 into Raz, the 2 danger men. He's able to get another onto Senior, and he's on the way for an ace. He's going to change out for the Tech 9, almost get another through the smoke. PC boy, he doesn't know what's going on. He's getting shot through smokes. The bomb is towards upper B.
Kaz.
Savage. Yeah, Kaz just wants some of these.
Yeah,
ecos.
exactly.
He's like, boys, listen.
I want to shoot something as well, lads. This is actually awkward for Paul Roos because the bomb has been dropped all the way at the top of Banana and it's a 2 versus 4. How do they even salvage the situation? Chili Willy, he surged down Banana as well and secured full control. So there should be no way in which Paul Roos Gymnasium get across the line in this round. And they've also pretty much fully invested, besides for PC Boy and Senor, who kept a bit of extra cash in the bank. But outside of that, everybody spent everything they had. So it wouldn't be a bad idea for them to try and save this AK at the bare minimum. But PC Boy, he'd like to pick up something else and take into the next round. There's no point of him surviving here, going into the next with just a Desert Eagle.
Oh, he's letting his position be known.
Maybe a little bait and switch coming through. Perhaps Savage towards T-Ramp, trying to see if the heat can be taken off of him. But nice discipline coming out of Parklands College here. They recognize that they do hold everything they need to get across the line in this round.
Chile wants the ace, bro. He's looking at that smoke. He wants the ace.
Yeah, he's going to be going for it as well, it seems like. Waiting on the edge for somebody to come through. And PC Boy realizes that he can't afford to stay alive when the round timer ends. So he's going to go down as that smoke dissipates. And Savage now just going to be enjoying some cool radio. You can hear what I'm talking about there.
But 11-8's the score. Look at that ADR from Raz, 116.
Yeah, and look at the effective flashes, by the way, from Electrics. He's up to 18, 170 util damage. Chili Willy, 448 util damage. And he's only just moved to the CT side.
Exactly.
And normally the CT side is where you get most of your util damage done. So he's racked up some decent numbers in that department. Going to be another save here for Paul Roos Gymnasium. So this should be bringing the round score back to 11-9 here, reducing the deficit to just 2, unless Paul Roos Gymnasium can get something done in this eco round. Looks like they're trying to fake some presence towards the top of middle and then make their way back towards Banana. And it is going to be a timing that works out for Kaz. I say that though, Electric just gives him the 180 turn and burn with the Desert Eagle. Still though, shouldn't be changing the course of the round too much, as it is Parklands College who have got full superiority in the weapons department.
Players start shooting his teammates and then transfers over to Electrics. You got to respect it. But as you said, Parklands College, they've posted their 9th. Now it's just a 2-round deficit between Paul Roos Gymnasium and Parklands College. Obviously, Paul Roos, they're fighting for a back-to-back-to-back HSEL win, whereas Parklands College, they're trying to get revenge for the 2 meetings that they've had prior to this one. BO3 it is, and this is Parklands College map pick. 2 rounds between the 2 sides. And a bit of a weird buy coming out. We've still got Raz on a Deagle with armor, so that's a bit questionable, but he's actually going to be the first to fall by the Opal Blazed. This is exactly what Paul Roos were doing on the CT side. They're working the opening picks with the AWPs, and then they're just going to turtle in the bomb sites, and that's exactly what Parklands College are doing to good effect. Actually, Chili, he's going to push the issue over towards upper B. But there's this apps setup coming out from Blazed. He's actually posted on the angle just as Cash drops down. But Paul Roos, they're not looking completely great coming into the spy round. Dropped an early man. Savage has got a Deagle on his back.
Yeah.
And Raz, he's been the danger man. Why are you running into this round with a Deagle when he's your danger man? You know, you want him to be doing most of the potent damage.
Yeah, good point. Parklands College starting to find their footing on the CT side now, Nick. Starting to gain some momentum here. We're starting to see exactly why they decided to pick this map coming into the series. They've been well disciplined on their CT side as well when it matters the most. Yeah, we've seen a few moments where Kaz has got that rush of blood to the head and he charges down middle, but that's only when really Parklands College have secured the round win, right? So outside of that, look at how they're approaching it right now. 2 players rooted on that B bomb site, waiting for some sort of aggression to come through the crossfire setup and over towards A. Blazed is getting that information in apartments, and they've also got a player on that A bomb site and in library. So everything they need right now. Seems like Paul Roos Gymnasium are going to be making their way towards this B bomb site. All 4 players grouped up in Banana right now. Util starting to rein in as well. The double smoke, a bit of a misplay there, but won't cost them too much as they start making their way forward. The rotations are coming through from Parklands as well. And look at how passive Adapt is doing. Finally, he's going to be swinging out. Chili Willy, though, the one to find the double kill. Trades do come through, but of course it was always the one-man advantage for Parklands College, which means even though they've traded evenly, there is still that one-man advantage. Nade's going to be touching down. Does a huge amount of damage to PC Boy. Now it's on the remaining 3 players from Parklands College to get this round across the line. Senior's going to swing wide. He gets taken down, and now it's all on PC Boy in the 1 versus 2. He'll be able to take down Kaz, but Blaze has a massive HP advantage right now in this battle. He's going to shift walk forward. He misses the shots, and PC Boy, he gets the quad kill clutch in the round. Certainly one of the players who hasn't been able to, he hasn't had to do all that much throughout this map, but those 4 kills were of such high impact and absolutely needed for Paul Roos.
One thing that I'm going to point out in case you didn't realize, PC Boy, he was on about 12 points of health, at least he was in the red over towards Family. Kaz, he didn't actually purchase up armor into that round. So when he was taking contact over towards Coffin, the aim punch.
Yeah.
So pretty much,
sure.
Kaz, him not buying up armor, effectively lost Parklands College that round. So
yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know, armor is what negates you from receiving aim punch when you get shots, and it stops your screen from basically vibrating out of control. So that armor is absolutely important, and Parklands College had won the rounds before that, so he certainly had money to buy armor.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just an oversight.
Yeah, but that's in the past now. Paul Roos, they went out that round all to the victory of PC Boy. They've purchased up 5 rifles into this one. Electrics, he's on the Galil. This util's going to be thrown out by Raz. That Molly. Yeah, but don't know what that was. But it is just going to be this A play coming out from them. The bomb is going to be coming late, rather. But bit of a gamble stack coming out from Parklands College, considering you got pretty much no information over towards B. But it's going to work out. 4 CT players are over towards the site. Adapt over towards Arch. The smoke has faded, and Senior has faded into the grey. PC Boy and Raz going to open up the round. Electric shopping for maps. This was an ace stack from the side of Parklands College, and it's been absolutely disintegrated. And Raz is going to pretty much confirm the round. 22-11 from Raz. A 2 KD running into this. He's putting Paul Roos on his back and really showing up in the final. 39 is going to be the score as Chili Willy. He's just going to be saving that AWP and CT spawn. A great showing coming out from Paul Roos.
Yeah, it is a convincing T round from them executing onto that A bomb site. As you noted, it was a stack on that A bomb site from Parklands College, which means they had 4 players on the bomb site as opposed to just 3. Normally you have the 3 there with 2 on B, but they had the read, they had the numbers, but they weren't able to deal with the execute. And that's going to be a pretty detrimental round for Parklands College to lose, because not everybody has enough money to buy coming into this next round. Adapt sub 4,000, both Blaze and Kaz sub 2,700, so probably going to be ecoing here.
I'd hope we see an eco at least. Exalt, he's okay, yeah. So it is going to be an eco, just Exalt dropping over a couple upgraded pistols. Those Deagles can do damage. 5 rifles on the side of Paul Roos, though. Senior, he's opting for no util. You know, he wants to keep up that extra bank. Maybe he's just going to run into a side to get some damage done. But it is just going to be that AWP over towards upper B. Actually, they've,
got a round reset.
Been reset. So now Senior can purchase some util.
Yeah, I mean, he gets an extra opportunity to just secure that, right? But yeah, this is the High School Esports League. Everybody, welcome to the broadcast. These 2 teams have been fighting it out over the past few months. They started out with 38 schools involved in the mix, and now there are only 2 left remaining. Paul Roos Gymnasium are the defending champions after they won in 2018 and 2019. Looking to make it the three-peat. Parklands College in the grand final here, looking to secure their maiden title. Both of these teams have been incredibly closely contested so far, Nick. I would go so far as to say I can see exactly why these games have been so close between them. The 16-14s, the 16-13s, you can see that they certainly go toe-to-toe with one another.
Definitely, but those have been BO1s, which is something to keep in mind. Yes, they have been really close. We're actually seeing both these teams come to fruition in this final. Both of them having their limelights, both of them showing their mistakes and their frailties, but it is 13-9. Paul Roos find themselves 4 rounds to the good. So we are going to see what they can get done, but showing up really today is Raz and Chili from either side. Those are the 2 danger men. Electrics, he's having a bit of a rough time, but he is still on 77 ADR. He's really been the util player for the side. 170 utility damage, as well as 19 effective flashes. Adapt, he's also showing up for the side of Parklands College. So the danger men from both sides are really showing up, and we're going to see what they can get done. It is Parklands College map pick, though, however, so that is something to keep in mind. If Paul Roos can win this one out, then possibly we're going to have a 2-0 on our hands, especially when we were speaking about on the desk prior. a nuke pick coming out really suggests that Paul Roos have been practicing that map. And if you're Parklands College and you haven't really gone over your nuke, you're going to have a really tough time on that map. But the round is going to be live once more. The player has reconnected. And the buy is going to come out from Paul Roos once again. Senor, he's actually just going to opt for the deagle this round. So got to respect the play 100%. Hopefully he doesn't get taken out in this round. Still not going to purchase up Util, who we gave him the extra chance to do so, but he's just going to be keeping the extra bank. But
deagle and armor, bro.
Yeah, got to respect it. Got to respect it. But it's just that AWP on the side of Chili Willy into this round. So that is the only noticeable weapon on the side of Parklands College, and he's just going to be perched up towards upper B. The question is, are Paul Roos going to be entertaining the prospect?
Seems like Paul Roos Gymnasium aren't going to be wasting any time here. They're just charging with 5 players up Banana right now, keeping it super simple on their T side. And they've got the read as well, because there's only one player on this side of the map. It is Chili Willy, and he has got the AWP. He's been able to do some damage as well, as he does take down one of the players on the aggression, but he's going to get caught off guard. Nice angle there on the entry from PC Boy as he elevates himself and gives a bit of verticality to his approach. And this is pretty much now all but secured the round, considering the weapons that Parklands have at their disposal. It's just pistols across the board and electrics. He's padding the stats. He gets the ego frags.
He gets the ego frags. Fact. He posts up 4 in the round, and we were talking about Danger Man, and he's finally shown up. You know, you got the 4 ego frags. He went from 13 for 16 to 17 for 16, so now he's in the green in terms of the frags department, but we are going to see a full investment coming out from both sides. A double AWP setup from Parklands College. But if Parklands College lose this round, they're pretty much submitting their map pick to the side of Paul Roos, which could mean that they could be on the end of a 2-0, and Paul Roos could find themselves 2-0 victors and back-to-back-to-back HSEL victors. But the question is, are they going to choose to do so? But again, we've seen this gamble stack come out from Parklands College pretty much. There's no information over towards B. You just have Chili Willy posted up towards that angle. So the question is, do Paul Roos still entertain the say bomb sites? And if they do so, do Parklands College have a resolute defense? Yes, 4 players are here, but we've seen Paul Roos win these rounds, especially if Blades is going to be in no man's land towards middle. Electrics has a free kill in his hands, and now that's one pillar of the A defense knocked down, but Kaz, he's going to bring things back in towards Parklands College favor. 4v4 in the mid round as Paul Roos, they're going to press this issue over towards A with the bomb over towards Apps. Raz, he's going to open it up. Savage gets the kill over towards Kaz, and 14-9's the score. There's still one player in the bomb side. Savage doesn't realize that's a bit of an awkward encounter. Dap's still good for 1, but Senior trades him out. You know, I always say it all the time. It's like meeting your ex-girlfriend's mom. You know, you're running out of apps, you've got the bomb out, and then she goes, how's it,
Damn.
And then it's just awkward from that encounter onwards. But
Sounds
Chili
like
Willy,
you speak from experience.
listen, no comment.
Yeah, Chili Willy left in the 1 versus 2 clutch, and unfortunately he's going to get taken down, and that means that Paul Roos Gymnasium secure themselves map point here on Inferno as they go up 15-9. Nick, they've also got full control of the economy, and there it is. The big Negev gets brought to the table by Chili Willy, and he doesn't even hesitate. He just invests all his money into the gun, and let's see if he can put it to good use here towards the top of Banana. We'll have to see how much he can get done with that gun. I don't have much faith, Nick. I don't have much faith at all, but we'll have to see. Maybe he can prove me wrong. Paul Roos Gymnasium with the perfect opportunity to close this game out right here, right now, Nick. And look at the aggression coming through from him, just charging up towards the top of middle. They trade out Exalt, and they're just going to be continuing to surge onto the save bomb site. They've also isolated Blaze. They know exactly where he is. He's going to be forced up by the Molly. Can't get any damage done before he goes down. And that should be the map all but over as Raz takes down Adapt as well. And it is now a 4 versus 2 on the A bomb site. Paul Roos Gymnasium inches away from securing the first map here in the grand final of the HSEL VS Gaming League. Kaz and Chili Willy left with trying to keep Parklands College in the huncher in Inferno as they make their way forward. One coming from apartments, but Kaz has been taken down. It's just on Chili Willy, and he's been removed from the equation as well. 16-9. Paul Roos Gymnasium picking up their opponent's map pick and going ahead 1-0 in the series. Heading across to Nuke next.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Parklands College, what next? If you haven't been pracking Nuke, you're going to have a really tough time, but I've got to give kudos to Paul Roos in this map. We saw both teams pretty much display decent Counter-Strike for the most part. Yes, some errors came through, but you would expect that with not having much experience amongst the 10 in the server, but it is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen over towards Nuke. Obviously, with Paul Roos picking it, you would assume that they've done prep work, they've ironed out their defaults, their outside smokes, because, you know, you hate when you're playing a pug and there's a gap in the outside smoke, people get killed through it. No, guys, they can see my feet. stuff like that.
Nothing
So
worse,
we are going to see what Paul Roos can get done. But if those rotates aren't on point from Parklands College on the CT side, which is pretty much a win or lose situation for CT side on a map like Nuke, we are going to see what Parklands College can get done. But it looks like they could be on the end of a 2-0 walloping, to say the least.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because Parklands College were in a position to get across the line there in Inferno when they got up to that start on the CT side. They strung a couple rounds together, but then Paul Roos Gymnasium, they hit the burners, they got the gas, they just started keeping things really simple, moving around the map as a unit, finding their trade frags and securing control. Was an impressive, clean performance from them. They pick up the map win and they go ahead 1-0 in the series. So that is the first map of the High School Esports League Grand Final, done and dusted. Paul Roos Gymnasium one map away from retaining their title of champions here in the HSEL. We're going to have to wait to see exactly how that second map plays out. We're going to be taking a short break here, and when we return, we will be back with Nuke. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Telkom VS Gaming High School Esports League. We are in the middle of the grand final between Roos Gymnasium and Parklands College, and we just saw a fantastic first map on Inferno. We saw Roos Gymnasium get across the line 16-9, I believe it was, at the end of the map, maybe 16-10. Regardless, it was a convincing performance from them, and we now head into their map pick, Nuke.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're Paul Roos and you've picked Nuke in a grand final against your competitors that you've dropped down to the low bracket prior, they recently played on Mirage. That finished out 16-14, a very close encounter. But if you've picked Nuke, I suggest you've done, I assume at least that you've done your homework. You've got your CT setups down. You've got your T defaults down. You've got the outside smokes on lock.
Yeah.
So I think running into this map, if you're picking Nuke and you're confident on your Nuke, I think we could be seeing a Paul Roos back-to-back HSEL victors.
Could exactly be the case. We're about to jump into the game now. Let's see if Paul Roos can do it, if they can make the three-peat happen, or if Parklands College can take this to a third map where they then can contest for their maiden title here in the HSEL League. And Paul Roos Gymnasium, they find themselves on the T side, but Kaz, he gets super aggressive and he's able to open things up. And Chili Willy's also pushed through the ramp room, and he's also been able to find a couple frags, trying to trade it desperately off Paul Roos Gymnasium, but the spacing is not on point. You can't force the trade frag. You have to make sure that either you're immediately able to get it, or if it's not on the table, you leave it entirely. So it has cost them, as it's just Raz left in the 1 versus 3, and he's being forced upon here as well. These players are converging on his position and making life very tough for him. Does he clear out this corner? He does, and he's going to take down Exalt. So that opens things back up a little bit more now in the 1v2. You can see Parklands College, they've recognized they've got the bomb under control, so they just want to try and catch Raz off as he transitions onto that bomb. Both Chili Willy and Adapt in position to take him down. But Raz is making them fight for this right now. He's tapping away with the USP. There's a chance that he turns this 1v2 into a 1v1. From there, he could potentially close it out. But nice double peaks coming out of Parklands College right now. And it seems like it is just a matter of time before he gets taken down. Just dancing back and forth. These guys are at a firing range. Neither of them connecting on their shots. And it should be a matter of time now until Parklands College secure this round. I don't see a world in which Raz wins it from here, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, Raz has got through 2 USPs and he's traded off for the Glock, but it is going to be Chili. There we go. It's Chili's P2K that wins out the round. And Parklands College, they post the first on traditionally a map like Nuke, very CT-sided, so you're going to be wanting to aim for those 9, those 10, those 11 rounds on the CT side. But if you're Paul Roos, you've come into this map, you've picked it yourselves, so you're going to be relatively sound on the map, and we are actually going to see Paul Roos come into this round with a full investment. Just Tech 9s and Deagles on the board, which is going to be quite interesting. The outside smokes are going to be thrown out, or at least one of them at least, so going to see how this fares out. Both of them have been dropped, and the question is, are there any gaps in between them? No, there aren't, but Kaz, he's going to try to press the issue, push through the smoke with a flashbang from his teammates, but Savage gets the trade. Kaz is only good for 1, and our secret is an avenue of entry towards this B bomb side. Electrics, he's going to try to open things up, but it's actually Savage. Blaze only good for 1. Electrics gets traded out to Dap's position has actually been spotted, so if they get this frag, they can actually go up the vent back towards their bomb sites. But Raz, he's just holding for this flank, and he's going to come in late, and he could actually possibly catch out Adapt over towards Decon.
Seems like Paul Roos Gymnasium are committed to the B exit here, but Parklands College, they're primed and ready to welcome them onto this bomb site as they make their way forward. Do they consider the option of going back up the vents? There's still so much time here, and it just looks like because they've been so patient, Exalt has had to reposition himself, though he does think better of it. He's going to be committing to this B bomb site. So all 6 players are in the lower site right now. All 3 Paul Roos Gymnasium players looking to try and get onto this bomb site. Exalt going to be the first responder. With the CZ, he takes some of the attention from his teammates. Remember, there is that player Chili Willy sitting in the secret right now, and he's been able to get a double kill with the Negev.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Do you? Do you really though, Nick?
I love to hate to see it. So,
yeah, that's a love to hate to see it sort of thing, though.
Yeah, but Parklands, they clean up the anti-force buy from Paul Roos. Electrics, they posting up the Deagles, which will make the next buy round not the greatest, but be there as it may, they purchased up a couple flashbangs, which does suggest it's going to be a fast upper A hit. But they're actually going to hold on the shift keys and maybe make a play towards ramp, or maybe open the door, get a pop flash through it. But there's actually a fast play towards outside. Raz is going to take Kaz out. He's actually going to be good for 2 with the Tech 9. Exalt has to trade him out from Heaven over towards the top of Hut. Senior takes out Blazed, and this round has gone from bad to worse for Parklands College. Players caught with their pants down over towards outside, over towards top of Hut. But Exalt, he's going to try to wrestle it back. Chili Willy with the Negev is only good for 1 out. Senior in a 1v2, and he can't get anything done. Drops down. Senior finishes off the round, and Paul Roos, they post up the round with only deagles and no armor.
Great eco around there from Paul Roos Gymnasium, approaching it exactly as they should have, just getting super aggressive into that A-bomb site, trying to overwhelm the players, overwhelm the defenders. Raz with that Tech 9 found those opening 2 kills as well, which really made that A-bomb site primed and ready for the taking. And off the back of that third round, or rather the second round, where Paul Roos Gymnasium got quite a lot of damage done with their pistols, Parklands College now don't have enough money to buy, but it doesn't make much of a difference as Kaz up close with the P250 is able to secure the kill. Savage, he secured the Negev here. They're going to be trading this back and forth. Blazed, he rushes into the stream of bullets, and that is not how you approach a Negev.
Yeah, exactly. Blaze, he just wanted to try and get that frag on the Negev, but Savage, he's going to carry on pushing the issue through the smoke, going to tag Kaz as well as Adapt down.
Yeah, he'll be back in 10 years after that reload. We'll see Savage again. It is going to be the entries onto the A-bomb side. Adapt on top of the Hut's able to find one before he goes down. He does also have support from Heaven in the way of Exalt. Firing away with that Desert Eagle, hoping to connect on a bullet. Doesn't work out. PC Boy, he's going to be connecting on a nice shot there onto Exalt, and he spots the follow-up as well. Chili Willy, though, with his Negev, he comes through with the spray down. He's able to find 2 kills. Now it's left on Raz in the 1 versus 2. He's come through from Hut, but he hasn't been able to find the frag, and he's going to get taken down by Kaz. Oh, God, they're trading eco rounds back and forth here. Parklands College going to secure themselves the 3rd.
Yeah, if you're Paul Roos, I don't quite understand why you're purchasing up and off into this round. You just won the eco round prior, so you know that Parklands aren't going to have great weaponry in that regard. You know they're not going to have AWPs up. They're not going to have many rifles, so you're going to be facing the pistols. So that AWP buy was a bit suspect, but be there as it may. Paul Roos, they lose the round. Parklands College, they post their 3rd. A quick response to the round that they just lost prior. Senior and the boys, they've got AKs on the board. That besides Electrics, he's got a Mac 10, which does suggest it's going to be a fast A play. The smoke has been dropped towards the front of door, which would allow for this vent shot to come in. A good flashbang comes in as well. So Electrics, he's dropped down the vent, and that's prompted Chili Willy for this rotate to come out. He's still got the Negev in hand, though, which you see what he can do with it.
What a mad lad, seriously. What an absolute mad lad. And he's going to get overwhelmed here as well, right? Surely he gets taken down here on the angle. He's just going to get straight up sprayed down through the smoke by Raz, not having any of his shenanigans further. And Paul Roos Gymnasium, they're just going to continue surging onto this B-bomb side. It seems like it's going to be a similar theme here on Nuke as to what we saw on Inferno, just grouping up and moving around as a unit, but Adapt with the AWP. He's able to find 2 quick kills, and Kaz is coming through with the backstab as well, so he's going to catch Raz off guard. And it's all falling apart for Paul Roos Gymnasium around him, which looked like they were in such a good position. Now it's on Savage to try and clutch it out 1 versus 2. Let's see if he can get that job done. He's got full utility at his disposal, but they know exactly where he is, Nick. It seems like his days are numbered.
He is able to get out and dodge the first couple engagements and Exalt. He's going to entertain the issue some more, which allowed Savage another avenue into this 1v3 to try and win it out. A flash has been dropped out, but Adapt's trained on the angle, and he's able to get the 3rd kill of the round. And those are all from Decon. Just Paul Roos not smoking off that angle. He's able to get 3. And a bit of a dicey 1v3, but Parklands College, they're able to post their 4th and force Paul Roos onto not a force, actually an eco. So, Parklands College, they posted 4. They've got the double AWP set up, which is interesting once again, considering you're not going to be coming up against a good investment. They didn't get the bomb plant. But be there as may, maybe they feel comfortable with the AWPs, and Adapt is going to show why they've purchased them up.
Yeah, opening things up towards outside, and it looks like Aggression's going to be the name of the game right now. Kaz taking the fight to Paul Roos Gymnasium. He's going to be able to find the first 2 frags, or the 2nd and 3rd at least, after Adapt found the opening. Shouldn't be much going the way of Paul Roos Gymnasium in this round. Nick just pistols across the board. We've seen them do some damage with the pistols before, and Senior will be able to find a pick at the bare minimum. Can he get anything else done though? Probably not, considering where that bomb's been dropped. The question is, how much do Parklands give him? If they continue to push him here, he could do some extra damage with the AWP. But a nice start to the map for Parklands College. We've been speaking about how Nuke is a very complex and complicated map, and they've gotten off to a good start on their CT side. So they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves right now. Senior wouldn't mind actually saving this AWP, all things considered. His team will be buying up in the next round. So the fact that he doesn't get any money wouldn't be costing him too much.
Definitely, considering he's still got that extra bank in the account where he can purchase up an AK of his own if another teammate's unable to drop one over. So I assume if he does save this AWP, it will be dropped over towards Raz or Electrics, I would assume. But Parklands there, they've spread themselves relatively thin across the map. So if bad does go to worse, Senior does have a couple 1v1s that he will be able to save this AWP from, but he's just hiding over towards Heaven. 15 seconds left on the clock. It looks like he's going to be afforded the save, and it is going to be Porous that are going to fully invest into the next round. But as you said, Parklands College, they're looking decent on Nuke.
They are.
So maybe we have a 3-map affair on our hands, but Porous, they definitely want to finish as fast as possible in 2. They're going to see what they can get done. The AWP is going to be safe from Senior up towards Heaven. Blaze is unaware of his position, but Senior has bought that AWP into next round, and Porous will be fully investing into this one.
Yeah, they need to start finding their footing here on the T side. We see a tactical timeout being called by Roos Gymnasium so that they can mull over exactly how they're going to be approaching this round. Electrics, he's going for the James Bond impersonation. He's 006 at the moment. He's certainly going to be wanting to avoid that 007 at all costs. But let's not forget that Roos Gymnasium did pick this map, and they're down 5-1 at the moment on the T side. They've been getting picked off quite a lot just as the rounds have progressed. So I'd like to see them going back to that stock standard 4-man push, getting control of the bomb site. They seem to dilly-daddle as well once they get into the bomb site, as opposed to just being clinical, securing the plant and getting back into their post-plant positions. And what that means is that because they're taking so long to secure the full control, Parklands College have been rotating and getting in position and just shutting Paul Roos down. So let's see if we're going to be seeing that clinical approach from Paul Roos in this round. Nice shot from Raz to start things off at least.
The question is Adapt going to entertain the issue? Chili, he's posted up on ramp. He's just jiggle peeking for some info. He's actually going to try to press the issue with the Negev in hand. Adapt, he's posted towards the cross towards T-Red. So if there's not a smoke that has been dropped there, Adapt will have free reign over that. But the outside smokes are coming in. So what we want to see from Paul Roos, it's actually a deep outside smoke. So the strat book from Paul Roos is in. They've thrown in the L-bend smokes, which does allow for Adapt to possibly be caught out. He's just spamming the smoke, and PC Boy, he's just dropped down at the worst time possible. But we're seeing what Paul Roos have got in store. PC Boy, a nice readjustment over towards Heaven, and Adapt, he's in no man's land over towards outside. He's cleaned up by Electrics, no 007 for him. But blazed over towards Secret, he's able to get 2 because Raz is unable to 180 and get the trade to come in. But a 5v2 turned 2v3.
Yep.
There are no Chili's the ramp player, but he's actually rotated in towards Heaven.
He only has a P250 though, Nick. He will be able to salvage the M4 at least. I was a bit concerned for him there, so that gives him some extra firepower. Blaze though, doesn't look like he wants to have any of this retake right now. He's still all the way towards Secret Stairs, so not really showing any presence at all. They both have kits, they've got smokes, they've got flashes, they even have money to must drop a buy in the next round, so it seems like they are going to be taking the passive approach and just saving this round, Nick.
Yeah, that does look.
I mean, can
he
get a ninja defuse though?
Ooh.
Can he get a ninja defuse? No. Senior's still in position to come through and shut that down. I got a bit nervous there for a second, I'm not going to lie.
But, like, you've got an M4, and you're going to be buying, and, like...
No, he can't buy.
No, you're not going to buy it. Like, yes, you want the ninja defuse, but you also want to win the game, so,
You're talking about a guy who is consistently buying a Negev, though,
yeah,
Nick. I mean, you
fair.
just need to keep context in mind.
And he's got an M4 anyway.
He has got an M4 anyway.
So, yeah.
5-2 here. Paul Roos Gymnasium get back to winning ways on their T side, but this has to be the start of a sequence of rounds, as they can't afford to just lose around immediately after. Kaz should be a dead man walking here. In fact, he's even going to be fried alive. No, the molly hasn't gotten into the corner. It hasn't gone deep enough, so he's been able to maintain his position, and he's called for support as well from Adapt. So if Adapt can find a pick here, that would certainly be making his life a lot easier. Passive from Paul Roos Gymnasium is the name of the game right now.
There are no Kazas there, and these deep outside smokes are coming out once again. I mean, Senor didn't actually throw it, but he's going to go back to line up for them once again. But just seeing this deep outside smoke shows that Paul Roos, they've got some variations to the strats, but Adapt, he's going to get some variations to his AWP flicks. He's going to take Electrics out of the equation, get another through the smoke. PC Boy takes out Kaz rather, and Adapt.
Another.
He's in warm-up server right now, you know. He's posted 3 with the AWP. It's AWP DM for him. And he's picking apart Paul Roos when they're trying to do this outside exec. But Adapt, he's showing up. He wants a third map, and he wants to end Paul Roos's streak of HSEL victories. Paul Roos on the brink of a three-peat, and Savage, he's going to get 2 in the round. Adapt, he's going to try press the issue and try catch the bomb plants in transition. He does so. He's got 4 in the round. He's going to be on the way for an ace. They know Savage's position. He's already got 2 kills in the round, but Savage, he's going to try win out this 1v2. The first kill goes his way on towards Chetty. Now Adapt is on the other side of smoke, and he does so. Savage posts 4 of his own compared to Adapt's 4, and he wins out the 1v3 as easy as you like. Savage being absolutely savage running into the 3rd round, and Paul Roos, they posted 3, and Parklands, they're staring an eco in the face and possibly a 2-0 defeat. Yes, we're only 8 rounds in, but Paul Roos, they're looking decent coming into these latter rounds, and especially when Electrics isn't firing, that's a factor to keep in mind.
Certainly is, because you can rely on him getting into the game sooner or later. What a big round there win for Paul Roos Gymnasium. Seemed like Adapt had done enough with that 4K with York, but Kaz just tapping away with the USP calmly as you like. Saturday morning or Sunday morning frag for him, nice and easy. Does take down PC Boy. But still, it is Paul Roos Gymnasium who hold all the advantages in this round right now, considering the weaponry that they have at their disposal. Savage needs to be careful he doesn't get killed off by the close angle, and he does indeed deal with Exalt.
He's feeling it. He's watched take all these
I've been
gunfights.
impressed by Savage, actually, I must say today. He certainly has been one of the cleaner players that we've seen. His aim has been solid, his movement has been decent as well, and his decision-making in terms of where he's been taking the fights has also been pretty good. So, looking like a fairly well-rounded player is the young Savage. And no, I'm not talking about the FIFA player.
I was about to say, like, why does that sound so familiar? But this is Counter-Strike. This isn't FIFA. And Savage, he's letting us know 13-5 Electrics. He's also got a frag onto Kaz, but Chili Willy, he's been playing close towards Hat the whole round, but Blazed, he's going to clear out Decon, but it is not going to be the B site that's going to be entertained. It is actually going to be the A site, and Savage, being the young Savage he is, again, not the FIFA player, he's a Paul Roos Gymnasium student, and he's posted 3 in the round so far. Now it's Blaze left, 31 points of health, trying to do his best to try salvage a rifle or an exit frag to some effect, but Electrics, he's going to shut that down. He's only 3 for 7, and I'm sure Electrics is going to find an avenue into this game, and 5-4 is the score. And now Parklands, they're going to be investing into this round, so this buy round holds some extra weight to it. And another disconnect.
Yeah, PC Boy just going to have to reconnect, yeah. So, this has been a nice little run for Paul Roos Gymnasium. They've won 3 consecutive rounds, and they're starting to find their footing on the T side. We're starting to see exactly why they picked this map as well. Parklands College, they got off to a good start, but that advantage they had has quickly diminished. And they're going to have to start putting some more rounds on the board. Yeah, remember, this is a CT-sided favourite map, but considering the 2 teams that are playing against each other right now, Nick, it's pretty much a 50-50 occasion. It doesn't really matter what side these teams are on. They're certainly capable of doing the damage regardless.
Yeah, definitely. And it is going to be an interesting one. You know, it's a 50-50 affair coming into this. It's Paul Roos and it's Parklands College, and we're going to see what they can get done. As you said, 5-4 is the score. Parklands College, they find themselves 1 down, but we are going to see what they can get done. So, yeah, coming into this round, it's going to be another buy round for Parklands College. One player has disconnected, that's why we're back on the studio cabs, as you like.
Caught us off guard a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But be there as it may, it's going to be a buy round. Parklands College, they're looking decent, so Paul Roos, but they're showing us why they picked this map.
Yeah, they certainly are looking pretty convincing on Nuke right now, up 5-4. Did get off to a bit of a slow start, but they're starting to find their footing now and look a little bit better. So, we are heading into the second map again momentarily. Of course, it is the second map of the grand final of the High School Esports League, where Paul Roos are currently ahead 1-0 after winning out on Inferno 16-9. They find themselves on their very own map pick now, and they can close it out 2-0 and secure themselves the title of champions. Or are we going to be heading to a third and final map? Can Parklands College get the job done? We're going to have to wait and see, Nick.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see whether Paul Roos can actually win this out, whether they can make it a 3-peat. So it is going to be interesting to see whether they can do so. Obviously, Nuke is their map pick. We are expecting a 2-0 coming out from them, considering they got the Inferno victory.
Yeah.
So we are going to see what they can get done. Obviously, if you do pick Nuke, we do expect them to be a bit more rehearsed. We are seeing those variations to the outside smokes with the deep L smokes thrown in, and also we saw those the standard outside smokes thrown in the early eco round. So we are seeing that Paul Roos have got strats in the bag.
Yeah, indeed. They have looked pretty good once they've got all the pieces that they need, all the ingredients to get that good bake going. We'll have to see if they can continue that good form on the T side. We're about to jump back into the game now as well. Any moment now, we should just go into the server while we wait for the players to go live and continue with this best of 3 series.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting one. I mean, Paul Roos, they're really showing us what they can get done. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they can finish this grand final out 2-0. So Parklands, they have been showing what they can get done. Obviously on Inferno, they weren't able to really get things going. They were looking a bit wonky, but I mean, they're warming up into this, so maybe they can get something done. But Chili Willy, he's giving us something to think about, constantly buying those negatives, those Zeus, those Mag 7s.
Yeah.
He is the ramp player, but maybe Paul Roos choose to not entertain him completely. They're rather taking the fights outside, which is something that they've found good effect in. But they're still 1 round down. The question is, this next bye round that we are going to see soon in the 10th round, whether they can make it 5-5 or whether Parklands College can start getting some sort of a lead out.
Well, we're going to be finding out because we are back into the server here, and it seems like Parklands College have changed their minds, Nick. Initially, they had invested into the round. Now they've decided to go for the double save instead as we get back into things. And it's going to be the lobby crunch. Oh, my God. It's falling apart at the seams right now for Paul Roos Gymnasium. Electric's off the back of that. He has pounced, and he's gone through mouth into this A side, and he's been able to find a frag, but still needs to pick up the pieces. Raz has the AWP, not the most ideal piece of weaponry to try and retake lobby control. He has got that Tech 9 at least, though. That certainly does give him a little bit more maneuverability. Kaz, he's been heard out, and look at Raz. He's waiting for an opportunity to find that frag. He knows that he's up there somewhere. And does he spot him with the jump peak? No, Raz is, or rather Kaz is playing it very passively right now, hiding behind the aircon. And it seems like Raz wants to try and explore it. He's spotted him out. He's baited out the shots, but the P250 for Kaz is doing enough to take the attention away from his teammates as Electrics comes through. Squeaky door, he has got the pre-aim on fire, takes down Adapt, and
spotted his foot.
I think he did spot his foot.
You can see his knee.
There we go. Now the comms have come through. He knows exactly where Blaze is going to swing out, and he takes him down, and he knows that Kaz is on top of the roof, so no need for him to hang around. Raz should get the job done with the P2, with the Tech 9 rather, regardless, and that is the job done and dusted. 5-5. Paul Roos Gymnasium, they salvaged that very sticky situation.
Definitely. That was a partial investment coming out from Parklands, so they did just do the stock standard lobby crunch, but Electrics and Raz, they wrestled the round back into their favor. But that push from Kaz is a bit weird, considering you've got the double rafters set up. One usually holds over towards ramp, one usually holds over for the HUD pusher. You sort of need that other player to hold for that squeaky aggression, but all the Electrics did is he capitalized on that error from Parklands College and allowed Paul Roos an avenue into winning that anti-eco. And into this round, Kaz is going to try...
Dead.
Ooh.
What? Doesn't do any damage? Did I miss something there?
Did it go over the fence? No,
it didn't like get caught on the red. Did it go over?
It could have, but I don't think so.
Maybe it got caught on the red container. Anyway, regardless, doesn't make much of a difference as Kaz is going to end up going down. Adapt, he should have been taken down as well, but he's afforded a second opportunity at life, and he's not going to be snuffing that opportunity. He does trade the frag on Raz and keeps himself alive outside here, continuing to have a presence. Electrics needs to be careful how he takes his fights. Of course, the AWP trumps the AK in this fight. And it's very passive from Paul Roos Gymnasium, just defaulting across the board right now, waiting for some sort of aggression to come through from Parklands College. But Parklands College not giving away an inch right now. Just sitting back and waiting. Blaze, he's been spotted out, and he's going to get taken down. Nice double peek there from Paul Roos Gymnasium. That should be securing themselves full control of this A bomb site, but they don't account for Exalt sitting at the top of the rafters. He'll get taken down after he finds one. Now it's on Chili Willy and Adapt, the 2 players with the AWPs, to try and salvage this round for their team. Lobby. The bomb is in lobby, and finally that call's come through, and Chili Willy, he's actually got the bomb right, but he's also got a bullet in his brain, so that doesn't really make much of a difference. Savage is 18-6 right now, Nick.
Savage is... He's just playing a plug, you know?
What Savage is?
He's a great player.
He's
a great player.
You're not going to use your one and done, Nick.
Savage, he's just playing so well coming into this. I mean, Electrics is electric, so there we go.
Really?
I gave you one.
Nick?
I gave you one, but we'll see what happens. Poor Roos. They cleaned up that round relative to good effect, but Parklands College with the double AWP unable to get anything done. 3 men stay alive for the side of Paul Roos, and they're looking good. 6 rounds on the T side, and there's going to be a full investment from Parklands College. Oh, movement. Nice movement. Smoothment.
I don't know about smoothment on that one. Chile will end up being taken down, unfortunately, but there was a trade elsewhere on the map, and this Blaze goes one further. Spray down towards Squeaky Deal for Kaz, who's able to find one before he goes down. Not a bad result, all things considered, and they don't realize that Adapt is playing from Mouth, and he's also spotted out Electrics, who's now been left in the 1 versus 2 clutch situation. Exalt is going to be coming through Hut, while Adapt comes through Mouth.
He wins though, surely.
Electrics has no idea where these players are going to be coming from. And the timing might work out against him here, and it does indeed. He gets caught with a nade in his hand, and he ends up getting taken down. 6-6 as Parklands College finally get back to winning ways, Nick, and they level up the scoreline.
They do level up the scoreline, but one thing to keep in mind is the economy is not looking too great from the side of Parklands College. They really haven't been making those negatives work. So it will be interesting to see what they invest into this round. 2 and 4s will be able to be dropped over. Chile, he's already purchased up that negative, so... Paul Roos, they still got a full investment on their side. Again, Savage, he's 19 and 7. He's showing up today on Paul Roos's map pick. So it is going to be a full investment for both sides. 6-6 is the score. And if Paul Roos can post this round, then we're looking at eco territory for Parklands College.
Yeah.
So you're possibly looking at an 8-7 half.
Maybe even
9-6.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is a pivotal buy round for pretty much both sides.
Certainly is more so for Parklands College than it is for Paul Roos Gymnasium. So let's see exactly how they're going to be working this one out here. Very passive from both of the teams from the offset. Just looking to feel one another out, waiting for somebody to make a move, and that move's going to be coming towards Mouth for Electrics. He finds the entry. Should have heard the vent climb up there as well. Seems like he's going to get caught off. Blaze gets in position to find a frag. Exalt picks up one as well, and the A defense is fairly clean right now from Parklands College. PC Boy will come back with one of his own, but Adapt is rotated in position, and once again he's been able to find a kill. Chili Willy with this quick flank coming through will take down Raz as well, and the bomb has also been dropped in the mix. So Senior, he's left in a 1 versus 2 clutch to try and get his team across the line in this one. So much time left for him to work with, but not much positional advantage for him to gain right now.
He's just holding for this aggression from the Parklands College pupils, but there's no reason for Chili Willy and Blaze to really be giving them anything. Senior on 24 points of health, 40 seconds left on the clock. The time is dwindling, and he's still holding for the sheer aggression from Parklands College, but they're not going to give him anything. Chili is trained on that hut position, and Blaze is holding for the squeaky aggression. So regardless of where the Senior comes from, there should be a trade from either player. He's been awarded the freedom of the bomb. He's actually going to drop a smoke and plant in the smoke. So Parklands College will be pressing on towards his position, but playing in the smoke with low HP could allow him an avenue to win the round. Chili's rattled off a couple shots given off his position, but that smoke has got a certain timer on it, and Senior, he's out of it.
Nice position there from Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze repositioned over towards the top of Hut, able to get the frag onto Senior, but a much needed bomb plant from the side of Paul Roos, which would allow them for a reinvestment into this round. Electrics and Senior and PC Boy, they've got enough money in the bank to purchase up for themselves. Savage can drop an AK over towards Raz, but Raz, he's just going to opt out for the Mac 10. Same could be said about Senior, which would suggest for a fast play, maybe towards ramp. They know Chili Willy's on that AWP. He's no longer on that negative. So maybe a fast play over towards ramp could be the one that's suggested, but it does look like they're going to be heading over towards outside. 2 players going that way and 3 players holding towards lobby.
Chili Willy's AWP might come into effect here towards ramp as Paul Roos Gymnasium are grouping up with all 5 players on this side of the map right now. He's missed a couple of shots as well, which has allowed for Paul Roos Gymnasium to make their way forward, but a quick flank is coming through from Adapt. They were ready for it. Savage was holding the angle, but he doesn't even really get off many shots before he gets taken down. So this aggression is working out well for Parklands College. But speaking about aggression, Senior with the Mac 10 is going to be able to pick up 2 frags. That's a nice $1,200 in the bank for him, but the job's not done just yet. And again, it's a quick rotation from Adapt. He gets in position and he picks up 2 headshots, Nick, taking down both PC Boy and Senior, securing the round for his team as Parklands go up 8-6, finding a late wind in this half.
Parklands College really looking good coming into this. They've strung a couple rounds together, and they've been looking good coming into the latter half of the first actually. So Paul Roos, they find themselves in a 2-round deficit. They called out a timeout to talk things over. They don't really have much money in the bank, but they will be able to eke out a buy in the most part. Senior can still drop over a Galil if he just chooses for a flashbang and a smoke. So that Galil can be dropped over towards PC Boy for him to get a full belt of utility. Something along those lines could be suggested, but we're going to see what they can get done. PC Boy still yet to invest. But we are looking at a relatively good first half of Paul Roos, considering Nuke is a more T-sided map. And you are going to expect, with both teams not being completely trained, not being completely experienced in in how to play Counter-Strike as a whole, the T sides won't be looking completely as finessed as you'd think them to be. So the CT side, you would assume, will be both teams' stronger side, but they are going to go for the fast outside play. They're going to wait for the smokes to be dropped, and the fast outside play is going to be coming out.
Where has this play been the whole half, Nick?
Yeah, they did it on the eco round, which actually won.
That was the first and last time we saw the outside smokes like this. And they're going all the way down into the B bomb site. Nobody's letting go of W. Kaz, included in that conversation, is going to be taking down Raz. So that's something Parklands College have been doing a really good job of, is just making sure that they force some damage onto the side of Roos Gymnasium before the bomb gets planted. And once again, they found the necessary frags. It's just Savage left in what was a 1v5, and he's going to get taken down. So that is a 9-6 halftime scoreline in favor of Parklands College, Nick. We could be going to a third map here, determine who's going to be winning the High School Esports League Grand Final. Remember, Roos Gymnasium, they're the defending champions. They won in 2018 and 2019. Parklands College looking for their maiden title here today.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be looking good on the CT side. They're able to string those last 4 rounds of the CT side together. On a map like Nuke, it's definitely important to do so, but ultimately that round just went down to a misplay from Paul Rush. You can't just all be flooding over towards decon, especially when you've got 4 players down towards that position. You've got to take control of control room. It's a vital part of holding down that B bomb sites. If you give that control completely to the side of the CTs, they're going to pick you off, and that's exactly what we saw happen. But now it's Parklands College on the T side. We're going to see what they can get done. They've bought up full armor, which does suggest a full A rush, and that is exactly what we're going to see. Adapt. A senior rather gets taken down by Exalt. Blaze gets taken down, takes down Electrics. Raz, he's going to clean up this frag over towards outside towards Chili. Blazed, he's going to have a bit of an awkward encounter with Raz, but it's going to be a 3v4 post plant. Raz, he's finally going to clean it up. Like, where was that first shot?
But
2 players over towards Heaven. Kaz, he's going to take out Raz, or is he? They're very awkward encounters for Raz. He just can't seem to get anything out, and he just seems like the last bullets of his mag seems to be cleaning them up. They know where Adapt is. They're going to clean it up. Savage takes him out 22 and 10. Being an absolute beast in this round. No kit.
That was a 5v3.
Yeah, that was a 5v3, correct. There was no flashbangs though. Like, you're hitting a site with just armor. Like, maybe you don't even know flashbangs on Nuke, because that's what I'm expecting.
Well, I mean, they got the entry, so it wasn't even the flashbangs that were the problem. It was the fact that they couldn't find that frag on Raz outside. They fired off so many shots back and forth, and finally, it was actually Raz who managed to get that kill eventually, and secures a pistol round for Roos Gymnasium, which absolutely should have been won by Parklands College. They got the bomb plant, so they're going to be saving in this round to buy in the next. That was a very aggressive pistol round from Parklands College. I'm really interested to see what sort of a face they're going to be bringing to this T-side. Do they have all the strats in the book, or is it just going to be a nice and basic T-side approach? Right now, just charging through mouth in towards the A-bomb side. Electrics welcomes Chili with open arms.
Raz, he's got the scouts. He's going to probe, and he's going to take Adapt's head off and also spot Kaz over towards the top of Silo. Kaz is trying to look for the same duel with the Glock, not suggesting that is to be the good case. Exalt going to take out Electrics, while PC Boy with the XM gets a frag of his own. Now it's Kaz left in a 1v4, and he gets taken out by Raz.
Yeah, nice clean 5-7 headshot there from Raz. Now we're going to be seeing the weapons coming out for Parklands College. Chili Willy just has a knack for using the most obscure weapons, because now he's a bit behind the curve.
He's living in 2019.
About 6 months or so behind the curve, picking up this damned Krieg. Oh man, it's coming back. It's rearing its ugly head once again. Let's see if he can get anything done with the weapon. It certainly is a round in which Parklands College have got a large advantage in the way of weaponry, Nick. They've got rifles across the board, AKs and the Krieg, whereas on Roos Gymnasium, the only rifle they have is a FAMAS, but Raz with the scout showing he doesn't need any fancy weaponry. He can still just click heads.
Yeah, Raz, he's still more than capable of opening up the round. He sees him now. He's going to take Blazed out. No ways does he get one through the smoke. Oh my days. We're going to see what happens, but the molly towards credit card comes in, a bit of scuffed outside smokes, but the T side, being Parklands College, they're still able to drop towards the econ. They are in the 2-man disadvantage, but the rotates aren't down towards the B bomb side just yet, which does suggest it is quite interesting, considering you've been knowing what's happened actually.
Yeah, it seems like they're going back up.
He's rotated down, so he's got all this info.
But Parklands College, they've gone back up the secret stairs towards outside, maybe trying to fake that presence and then try and catch Roos Gymnasium off guard. Raz eventually will be taken down with that scout, so he's not going to be having any further impact. Adapt's been brought down to 28 points of health as well. Where do Parklands College end up here? Do they go back down secret towards the B bomb side, or are they going to try and force their way into this A bomb side? Seems like it's going to be the latter, and the player at Heaven will get caught in transition. That's Savage who's been taken down, and Senior also been removed from the equation. Electric's finding that all-important frag, and oh my god, that shotgun, that range gets one. Then PC Boy, clean as you like, switches out to the Desert Eagle. That was a highlight reel in itself right there,
That
Nick.
was definitely a highlight reel. He chose the XM for the long-range encounter onto the low HP play. He was able to win that out, and that's $900 in the bank. Switches out to the Deagle and cleans that one up. But pretty much all 10 in the server really showing up. We're seeing Savage, however, really carrying Paul Roos on his back, but the AWP is out on Raz, which is something to keep in mind. He has made the scouts especially potent, but again, the purchase of the AWP is a bit questionable considering they're not going to be on very good weaponry. But over towards Ramp is PC Boy. They line up for him. He's good for 1, he's good for 2, he's good for 3. But Adapt finally comes in for the trade. 2v4. Savage is going to rotate in, take out Exalt, and clean up on Adapt. So Paul Roos, they posted double digits, and they're cleaning up these anti-ecos really nicely. 9-6 was the halftime score. They posted 4 without response. Chili, he's already purchased up that glass cannon, and he's going to try activate, probably towards outside, maybe an A ramp pick. But we always speak about the T side AWP and Nuke. Seems like a bit of a liability towards the late round. You really have to have a sort of set plan using that weapon. Are you going to play towards outside? Are you going to play towards ramp? Looks like Chili is going to go towards the top of silo to try work this outside pick over towards Raz.
Speaking of AWPs, there's 2 on the table for Paul Roos Gymnasium right now. And
Like Raz, hello?
I mean, my man, there is Silo, by the way. So he completely overlooked that. Unfortunately for him, he gets taken down. And off the back of that, there will be a couple trades going the way of Paul Roos Gymnasium. Yeah, nice spray indeed. Savage certainly has impressed me here, more so on Nuke than he did on Inferno, but he's looked really, really good here on Nuke. Certainly been the one shining light for Paul Roos Gymnasium in this match alone. And remember how much this match means to these players, guys. Electric, he's got full colors at his school for their achievements in esports, for winning Comic-Con in 2018 and 19. I'm not exactly sure who else was in that team who achieved that, but the point is that it is a massive, massive match right now for all of these players involved. It's not just a calm game or anything like that. There is so much emotion on the line right now. There's so much history, there's so much pedigree from both of these incredible schools, and they're going to be looking to do everything they can to hold those names as high as they can.
Definitely. And Exalt, he's going to try win this out, but there really shouldn't really be much to write home about. But we're definitely seeing Paul Roos, they're starting very well in the esports scene very early. They've already posted 2 Comic-Con victories on their backs. As you said, Electrics, he's got full colours for. Something Benny's prides themselves in is their rowing, and they always say, oh no, SA champs X amount of times. So we're going to see Paul Roos in the coming years. We're going to say, listen, they've won it twice, possibly 3 times. You know, we've won Comic-Con online, VS Master, via High School E-League 3 times in a row. What have you guys done? Paul Roos, they're going to have all the bragging rights. All the players that go to their school, they're going to wear it with pride when they're in the server. They've posted 11. Parklands are a 9. And Paul Roos, they're having a resolute CT side. Parklands not really having a response to them.
Yeah, they're going to be charging into the same bomb side. Mac-10s, Galils, and AKs to try and get the job done. And that Mac-10's been able to find one. The molly also forces Senor down with the nade. He gets 2 kills with the HE grenade. Props to Electrics, who did all the damage in the first place to enable that grenade. And that was a full force, Nick. A full force buy that gets absolutely demolished by Parklands College. And that's a problem because you could see that was the Hail Mary play. It was like, we need to just force up and rush A. And we can win the round like that. They actually had a nice molly on top of Silo. They got the entry as well. But that double nade kill completely swung the round back in Paul Roos's favor.
The double dunk. Savage. He's got 27 frags. 4 rounds left for Paul Roos to book themselves the 3rd back-to-back-to-back High School E-League champions. It's going to be another buy round coming out from Parklands College. They're going to exhaust the bank accounts. They're going to see what they can get done. 12-9 is the score. And if Parklands College lose this round, they could be staring at a 2-0 walloping, to say the least. A 2-0 flattening from the side of them. But Electrics, he's going to rotate back, but he spotted out Blaze. Raz has got 1 in the meantime. Senior's been taking out Chili Willy. So now it's going to be a 3v4 post plant. The bomb is going to be planted on the B bomb site. Chili's going to drop that smoke to ensure that to be the case. He's going to go out and plant the bomb. So there's going to be a 4v3 post plant. Electrics, he's going to rotate in towards...
Oh, nice.
Oh, just
Texas
the awareness.
You
know, that's the experience we're coming out from Electrics. Being a matric pupil, the captain of the team himself, the star player, or at least one of them. The experience coming out from him, he's really showing up in this grand final. Exalt, he's going to try show up in this 2v4 post plant, but Savage, he's showing up. Chili, unable to get anything done, and Savage, he's supposed to turn the round, and he's been a pivotal factor for Paul Roos's experience, and Paul Roos is showing in this grand final. 13 rounds for them in Parklands College. They just don't have a response to Paul Roos's CT side.
Man, Savage has nearly got a 30 bomb, Nick. And nobody else on the server is even on 20 yet.
Yeah.
The highest person behind him is 18 kills on Chili Willy, and his own team is 17 frags on Raz. Savage is having a lights out performance right now here on Nuke. Paul Roos Gymnasium 3 rounds away from securing themselves the title of champions here of the High School Esports League, hosted by Telkom VS Gaming. 3 rounds away, Paul Roos Gymnasium within touching distance. Chili Willy going to find that all-important frag onto Raz, who certainly has been plaguing them towards outside. 4 versus 4 here. Parklands College, they need to start finding some momentum yet to win around here on this T side. And remember, this map was picked by Paul Roos Gymnasium, which certainly gave us the inclination that they had done the preparation on Nuke. And it's going to be PC Boy towards ramp once again, just holding the angle. He's going to find Gon, goes for the re-peek, and he does land that mini flick, goes for the third re-peek, doesn't connect, but he is still going to be hanging around, and he's going to be able to find a third kill. Single-handedly, he has been destroying Parklands College towards ramp. He's been a fantastic gatekeeper on that part of the map. The rotations have come through as well, and Paul Roos Gymnasium are 2 rounds away now, Nick. 2 rounds away.
I was about to say, why is he going back? But he gets 3, but surely on that repeat, you've got to be punishing him for that. If he's going back for another repeat, you've got to either flash him off the angle or just get the trade frag. But he's showing up in this. PC Boy, he's now in the green, 18 for 17. Savage, he's just dropped the dirty 30. And Chili, he's trying to take his team on his back. He didn't really show up on Inferno. He's trying to do his best on Nuke, but is it all a bit too late? This A ramp rush is going to come in. That smoke has been dropped, and it's going to be PC Boy tasked with holding it down once again. He's unable to get anything for the meantime, but he's able to catch Blaze on the cross. He's actually going to go back for more once more. You can't let him do this. He's got 2 in the round, and now Paul Roos found them 2 kills to the good.
And Chili Willy's dead.
Like, that's just dot throw right there, to say the least.
Yeah, very unfortunate that this is how it's turning out for Parklands College after such a fantastic start to this map. They got up 9-6 in the first half, but they haven't been able to find their footing on the T side. Paul Roos Gymnasium secured their 15th, and they are now just 1 round away from securing the title of champions of the High School Esports League. They did it in the past 2 years. Are they going to be doing it again? Setting the standard in the high school scene for esports in general. They won in the League of Legends competition yesterday. They're looking to double up here in Counter-Strike as well. Remember, Paul Roos Gymnasium, as soon as you hear that name, you think rugby, you think cricket, you think hockey. You think academics, and now they are adding esports to their repertoire as well, unless Parklands College can make it happen in this round right here, right now. Chili Willy charging forward, gets 1 adapt, also finds a pick, and finally Parklands College get themselves into a favorable situation here in the second half. They've got the man advantage. They know where PC Boy is as well. He swings out with the AWP, and this time he got a kill there before he got taken down. He takes down adapt, and now it's Savage left in the 1 versus 2. He's been lights out through the entirety of this map so far, but this is such a tough clutch. Kaz has already got his crosshair trained on his position, and he will land the instant headshot. 15-10. Paul Roos Gymnasium forced to wait that much longer, or are we going to overtime, Nick?
You never know. If you wanted one player from the side of Paul Roos to be in that clutch, it would be Savage. An absolute lights-out performance. He's posted 31 frags already in this map, but Parklands College, they're going to be fighting out for that overtime. They still need 5 more rounds. This was the first T side that they posted. So they're going to have a very much an uphill battle, especially when the economy is going to be working against them. Adapt, he's just got that deagle in hand. What worked last round was a fast A hit, and now they're going back to the slow defaults, which just really haven't been working. So this round, I'm assuming Paul Roos is just going to pick them off 1 by 1. But the question is, do Parklands College win out the all-important gunfight? Senior gets 1, PC
Nick.
Boy gets 1 of his own. Savage is still training the angle. Blazed, he's actually trade up for the nade. Oh, we're going to see another double dunk. Raz gets 1 through the wall, and now it's Exalt and Kaz left. The flash coming out from Savage. He's going to peek off of that and get a wonderful frag, and now it's Kaz left with his heart on the floor. Parklands College crest on his shoulder, trying to wrestle this back to ensure that they have a chance at winning this out and deny Paul Roos the three-peat of the High School Esports League victory. Kaz in a 1v3, he's unable to get anything done in the meantime, but Savage, he's trained on all these positions. He's feeling good. 32 for 12, a 2.7 KD. He is a big game player, ice cold in the veins. And Kaz, he's going to try and win this out though. 1v3 turned 1v2.
Yeah, they know exactly where he is as
1v1.
well. He's been able to take down Electrics. It's all falling apart right now for Paul Roos Gymnasium. There's 34 seconds left here for Kaz to try and secure this one for his team. Savage knows where he's coming from. He's going to have the angle. He gets the shot. He gets the frag. And Paul Roos Gymnasium are your high school esports leagues champions once again. They've gotten the better of Parklands College, and they've beaten them when it mattered the most, securing the securing the series 2-0. They will go over across as champions for the third time in a row. There has been 3 finals of the High School Esports League. They've won all 3 of them for Counter-Strike, and they certainly deserved that victory, Nick.
If there was one player you wanted in a 1v1 at the end of the game, it was Savage. An absolute lights-out performance, big game player. It's what we expected.
Yeah.
After winning Inferno, they came into Nuke. It was their map pick, so we expected them to win that out. Both maps went 16-9. I think actually the Nuke one was 16-10. But it is going to be an interesting encounter to see what will happen with the next year. Paul Roos, they've got the 3-peat. Is anyone going to be knocking them off their pedestal? The question is, we'll have to wait until next year. Paul Roos are your champions.
Once again, Paul Roos have proven that they are the superior school when it comes to Counter-Strike. In the finals, they had the BMT, they had the names. Nick, and I must say, I was really impressed by Savage in that map. He was actually one of the players I wasn't too familiar with coming into the series, and he just looked really, really good. In particular on Nuke, you could see his movement was great, his crosshair placement was great, his decision-making was on point, and just an all-round complete player, not just a fragger. He had the mental side to his game as well. Very impressive from Savage. Very impressive all round from Paul Roos Gymnasium as they secure that title of champions again. Yeah,
definitely. And when we were looking at that Paul Roos side, we were thinking about Raz and Electric because they were going to carry the mantle for the side of Paul Roos. They did so on Inferno. Savage didn't really show up on that map, but if you think back to Nuke, PC Boy with his multi-frags over towards ramp with the AWP.
Yeah.
But as you said, Savage really just playing with his heart on his chest, playing for the badge on the front so they remember the name on the back as the old name goes. Savage really showing up in the server, even though it's not his actual name, it's the alias. It's what we love to see from esports and esports leagues in South Africa. And Paul Roos, they posted their the third high school E-League championships in a row. Paul Roos, they're wiping the floor with all the competitors. Last year was Benny's, my ex-school, they wiped the floor with them. And now Parklands College, they had no response. A 2-0 victory for Paul Roos, all the way through the upper bracket, through the grand final. Kudos to them. They find themselves 2-0 victors.
Props to Parklands College, however, though, Nick, because they did bring that fight on both Inferno and Nuke. There were moments on Inferno where it seemed like they could potentially go on and take the victory. On Nuke, they got off to a really good start in the first half as well. They went up like 5-1, and then they went up further ahead as well. So they had that 9-6 halftime scoreline too, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. We have Adrian Fourie. I believe it is Electrics on the line with us once again. Welcome, man. Congratulations. You guys have done it again. It's your final year at the school, and you've secured another title of the High School Esports League for them. How are you feeling right now?
I'm a bit speechless. I think the boys played really well today. Some mistakes, but I mean it's expected. I'm really happy how well Savage performed on Nuke, and then also the boys performed all really well. Keep composed through the whole 2 maps, so
definitely.
I'm quite happy.
Without a doubt, we saw your resolute defense on Inferno. The T side wasn't too great, but your CT side was really where you guys prided yourself in. You seem to be just the util player, throwing all the utility for Raz up a B. Your flashbangs were on point, and Raz really popped off that map, and that's all kudos to you and your utility performance. So we came into this game thinking you were going to be the outright fragger, but you seem to really take the back seat. You seem to be more the support player to let your teammates frag.
Yeah, so coming into this best of 3, I knew exactly Parklands would expect me and Raz to play really in their face, aggressive, kind of that style. So switching that up, and I know the potential some of these players in my team have, like PC Boy and Savage, and Senior. So coming into this, I took like kind of a backseat, maybe more throwing util because winning a 1v1 is something, but guaranteeing the fight because the enemy is blind or is mollied out or can't see anything because he's smoked is a much safer bet to win a round. So I took that route more.
Man, I love to hear your maturity on how you're approaching the game already. You're recognizing that there's so much more to Counter-Strike than just looking to take fights and get frags, right? There's layers, there's depth, and as soon as you tap into that side of the game, it becomes far, far easier. But like you said, yourself and Raz coming into this were the 2 well-known names, but both PC Boy and Savage, as well as Senior, all 3 of them, they also had a really good game today.
Yeah.
Well, well done to you guys, man. Props and congratulations. Like I said, your third and final year, and you're leaving the school with a victory. Feel good?
Yeah, I'm very happy where I left it. So let's just hope for a couple of years to come, people keep the dominance up.
So let me ask you this one question before I let you go, Electrics. Where do you want to see the high school esports ending up one day? Do you want to? Where would you like to see it go?
I would actually like to see it just stay as the same level as the current competitive scene in South Africa. I think that would be really good.
Yeah, you could have the schools competing with teams, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, Electrics, thank you so much for joining us, man, and sharing some of your thoughts. Congratulations on the fantastic win once again, securing the title for your school. And it's been great to chat to you, man.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Cool. That was Adrian Electrics Fourie, the captain and IGL of Paul Roos Gymnasium, as they've just secured their third and final title, or their third, probably not final, but certainly the third title of the Telkom VS Gaming High School Esports League. They've walked away with the victory once again. It was a comprehensive win, and they're now going to be feeling really good about themselves. And in fact, somebody else who's also going to be feeling good about himself is Louis van der Merwe. Welcome.
Thank you.
You managed to catch the whole game there?
I did. I was marking some rounds, but I was watching all of it.
Multitasking. I know the life of a teacher. It's not like a 9 to 5. You never drop the position. You always got something going on, right? But congratulations to your boys. They got the job done once again.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. It was such a good game.
Yeah. So, I mean, this probably makes your job a little bit easier when trying to deliberate whether you should get that esports facility. I know you said you've got the go-ahead already, but I'm sure the principal is going to be giving you even more funding now.
I think he might, and even my head's already thinking now it's time to start getting into sponsorships and things. But yes, we'll start to the principal, and then we'll move from there.
Awesome, fantastic. Yeah, your guys had a great day.
Yeah, that's definitely. We actually heard that you recently came into the school and you were actually the person that pushed esports throughout the school. So massive kudos to you, and definitely Paul Roos are feeling the repercussions of that. Like back to back high school esports league winners. I'm pretty sure you're going to be chuffed. You're going to be smiling all ear to ear for the rest of the day. You must be proud of the boys.
I'm very proud of the boys. I'm proudest of them when they start struggling, they fall behind. I saw on the first map when they took the tactical pause, is exactly what I told them. When you start falling apart, just take the tactical pause, talk about the team tactics, get it together, and then keep it tight. And that's exactly what they did. And so much respect for them for doing that.
So, Louis, something I'd like to ask you is, obviously, it's a different dynamic with school teams because of how the players move up through the grades, and eventually once they've matriculated, then obviously they're going to be moving out of that team. Whereas in normal teams, the players can stay a part of the team for as long as it's working. You guys have got that natural shift that's going to be happening now through the ranks. How do you guys how do you prepare for when, a matric is moving out of the roster and now you have to bring that succession in?
Well, beginning of the year, I put out the all call for anyone who wants to do esports at Paul Roos, and then I see how many teams I have. I try to put friends together because it's easier to organize before we have the team trials. And then we see what sports we're doing for the year. Like this year, we did League of Legends and we did Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
We had a Dota team, but the juniors weren't really too keen on it, so that's okay if we leave it. Next year, we might have a Dota team again.
Yeah.
And then what's happening now is we had 4 CSGO teams this year.
Wow.
Ew.
And the matrics are matriculating. The other 3 were not matrics, especially Raz now is going to be probably the captain of the new A team. And him and his group of friends came from grade 9 already. I actually had to tell them, I'm really sorry, but you guys are not 16 years old. I cannot use you in my team, but keep playing, build those skills. And then once you are actually 16, and the whole team is now 16 and ready to take up the mantle that our A team has left.
That's nuts to think you have 4 Counter-Strike teams, each of them waiting for the opportunity to have their shot at it all. So we're seeing Electrics move out of the roster. You speak about Raz, he's definitely going to be carrying the mantle. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be expecting nothing less from Paul Roos next year.
I hope so. Our League of Legends team, we still have Peanut SW from this year, captain, so he's going to be captain next year. We have Raz in CSGO, and we'll see. Maybe we get some new players in. I have emails from parents in my inbox saying, my kid wants to come to Paul Roos for esports, and I'm saying, oh, welcome, I'm waiting for them. Please do send them. So I'm going to build it as much as I can.
Oh man, I love it. You're building the scene from the ground up, and it's exactly what we need for this natural succession to take place. Louis, thank you so much for giving us some of your time once again, and have a great rest of your day. You've gotten off to a fantastic start with your team getting the victory and the title, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you, you too.
Great. That was Louis van der Merwe, the IT teacher at Paul Roos Gymnasium. He's beaming right now off the back of that victory. And as they've just secured the third title of champions for the High School Esports League, hosted by Telkom VS Gaming. That is it, Nick, for us from the segment today, because the High School Esports League is done and dusted now.
It's done and dusted. It started off with 38 teams, and only 2 remain today, and now only 1. That is Paul Roos. They find themselves back to back.
Yeah.
High School Esports League victors. They knocked down Parklands. We thought it could have been a bit of a closer game, but ultimately big game players came out for Paul Roos.
Yeah.
Raz, Savage, Electrics, all of them showed up to the plate, and ultimately 100% kudos to them. But as you said, that's all we got for the High School Esports League, and we'll have to wait till next year to see if Paul Roos are going to be the final once more.
Yeah, we will indeed. So that is our starter done and dusted for the day. But don't you go anywhere, because the main course is on its way. We have got the grand final of the Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5 coming up at 1:30 this afternoon. It's going to be ATK Arena taking on DNMK in a best of 5, no map advantage, so it's all to play for. We saw an amazing performance from DNMK yesterday to oust Goliath Gaming and secure themselves a spot against ATK to test themselves against the best guys. We're going to be taking a short break now, but when we come back, we're going to have that all-important grand final. Be sure to join us.